playoffs last season. What about this team, as far as you can tell right now, initial indications as to the team you're taking over?
Well, I think obviously multiple things have to happen here. We got to figure out let's start and goal. We got to figure that out. The guys that we have, the guys we need to move forward with, and we'll spend time with the coaches and the goalie coach to make sure we dig into that. We have a lot of good young players and some players coming. Do we need to surround them with some more veterans, some key veteran kind of guys? We got some really good guys that I even know. I don't know all the guys, but I know some of the guys from my USA hockey days with Dorensky and Johnny Gaudreau and that. But they do have some good leadership here with Boone Jenner and Sean Curley, and there's a list of those guys. So in time we'll talk to all the players and get their feel. And I want to be a sponge right now, and there's going to be no quick decisions. We know two things are coming up, of course, is that we have no choice about, that we got to prepare for. We have the fourth pick in the draft. We have a draft date set, so we got to be ready for that, and then we got to be ready for free agency on July 1st. So there's some work to be done this month. And as far as personnel decisions, as time goes on here, we'll start talking with everybody and figuring out which avenue we need to go to make sure we put ourselves in the best position and take that next step.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, June the 8th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL's Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, 8 p.m., Florida Panthers take on the Edmonton Oilers. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219, and Internet 932. Oilers on Sirius 162, XM 220, and Internet 931. National feed on SiriusXM and Internet channels 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, June the 8th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL's Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals, 8 p.m., Florida Panthers take on the Edmonton Oilers. Panthers on Sirius 161, XM 219, and Internet 932.
He's got the concerts outside, he's got a deal and everything. Steve's a gem. He's a great guy. He'll join us before.
He came by and said, hey, we'll get you game 2. Which is what we should. You know what? It's probably on us, Dave. We should have not scheduled him for one.
For game 1, I know.
Knowing that, there's going to be concert. But,
and look, the game 2 is going to be a busy one because we'll have Macklin Celebrini. We'll have some of the other top prospects ahead of game 2 as well, in addition to Steve Mayer. And before game 3, in Edmonton, we will have the commissioner, Gary Bettman, on the program as well. And then we'll continue to have some special
Maybe
guests.
Steve can get us Shania Twain before game 4.
Maybe.
I wouldn't. No, she's probably performing around.
She might be a little busy.
That's okay.
Getting things on. But yes, things obviously now getting ready here in Sunrise as game 1. We're looking at about half hour away from puck drop.
2 anthems, Dave. 2 anthems. So it might be 8:25. Who knows?
Right. Yes, back to double anthem duties here. And we actually caught the rehearsal earlier.
We did.
So they're going to do a great job as I'm sure they always do. And again, different types of celebrities, different type of people that actually come out to these games as well. I'm sure we're going to see. We know some of the Dolphins are here, so we'll see some other athletes and whatnot as well as everybody's.
It's a big event, Dave. Back in the day, like the Panthers, I remember watching games where you're like, wow, there's nobody in the stands. Or they probably had 6,000 or 8,000 people in the stands. But, it's funny, Dave, when your team's good, people show up, regardless of the market. Now, certainly in Canada, like the Edmonton Oilers are always going to have people in the stands, always going to have filled buildings. But for a challenge like the Panthers, because going back, Dave, about 10 years, the Panthers either made the playoffs, and when they were out, they were a soft team. They would go out in 5 games. I remember using the word soft and talking about the Florida Panthers, Dave. And coming into tonight and throughout the playoffs in the last couple of seasons, this team is anything but soft.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I don't think anybody can make the argument.
Whatever the opposite of soft is, they are right now.
Yeah, this is, and you know what? The fan base too, rowdy as well. Definitely, they're embracing this type of I guess, game plan that the Panthers bring on the ice.
Yeah.
They've embraced
Their brand
that.
of hockey has changed.
Brand, thank you, was the word I was very much struggling to say. Yeah, look, things look good. It doesn't look like we're going to see any. Well, it doesn't appear like there's any significant changes based on what we knew from this morning when both coaches addressed the media. So everything kind of looks the same again. The only real significant one, Warren Fogle in for Derek Ryan for the Edmonton Oilers. But outside of that, everything else seems to be pretty steady, and everybody here is ready to go. The building I blinked and it got full pretty quick. So we're almost at everybody's still ushering in from outside, but everybody's getting ready for this game and excited for it. We see some of the screens from the live shots from outside into the concourse. This place is going to be buzzing. It already is. Yeah.
And the great thing is that, now, Dave, we've hinted about injuries to these teams, but it's great to see that all the impact players are playing in the Cup Final. There's nobody that's sitting out. There's no major injuries. Now, we may come to find after 4 or 5, 6 or 7 games there were significant injuries to certain players, but all the cast of characters are out there on the ice and ready for Game 1.
Verhaeghe, Barkov, Reinhart, Rodriguez, Bennett, Kachuk, Listerainen, Lundell, Tarasenko, Okposo, Stemlin, Lorenz. Same lineup up front and of course on D, the D pair.
What's the change?
Nothing is changing for the Florida Panthers. Why mess with what works?
Right. Yeah, there's nothing to change, Dave. It's worked. They've played great. They're the favorite coming in. But again, you can throw all that out, Dave, once they drop the puck for real in about 25 minutes.
Right. On Edmonton's side, again, nothing of over, there's no significance. Nuge, Connor McDavid, Zach Hyman, line 1. Kane, Draisaitl, Holloway, Fogle, McLeod, Perry, Janmark, Henrique, and Brown. I guess if anything, Henrique now.
Yep.
But again, interchangeable. They'll make some adjustments as they need to as things go. And the same on the back end. Nothing changing there. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Ceci, Kulak, Robert.
And I'm really interested to see, Dave, how Leon and Connor are used from a time on ice perspective.
Yeah.
Because, if things get desperate and they get down in the series, are you going to see, I remember Game 7, 3 years ago, Kings-Oilers. Connor played 27 minutes.
Right.
The 60-minute game.
Right.
Will Chris have to do that? Will he have to shorten the bench and rotate these guys in? And the one great thing about him, in games that they've had control of or they've won, you see the time on ice lower than usual. You see 20, 21 minutes out of these two players.
And not only that, that's another thing I wanted to mention. We've talked about Gustav Forsling and the impact that he's had. He's playing less minutes in these playoffs than he did last year's playoffs. He's averaging less time on ice because they're able to utilize their deep core and kind of spread things out.
Well, when you have Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Kulikov on the third pair,
right.
That's the first pair for the Blackhawks, not a third pair.
Yeah. Yes. So, a lot of different.
And that's why they're here. That's why the Panthers are here, because you have two guys like that on your third pair.
Yep.
It's a testament to Bill Zito, and that's the one thing we haven't talked about, Dave. Bill Zito's done an amazing job recasting this roster and making it a dangerous Stanley Cup contender.
Making some strong additions. That's why he's one of the nominees for the GM of the Year award with Patrick Alvin and last year's winner Jim Nill. Maybe Nill goes back to back on that award. Now, we should also mention that NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman addressed the media today, along with Bill Daly and Marty Walsh from the PA, and the Four Nations Face-Off will take place next season in February. February 12th is the first game. You got
4 games in Montreal and the final 3 in Boston.
Right. So,
have you made your hotel reservations yet?
I have.
You have? Okay.
I have, yes.
Oh, wow.
At least in Montreal. Boston, I haven't made those adjustments yet. But that should be no All-Star game next year. If this is happening in lieu of it, All-Star comes back in 26 on Long Island at UBS. And the salary cap, the other big news. Salary cap
million.
Going up to $88 million.
A little higher than we thought, right?
Well, based on, and it has to be agreed upon by the NHL and NHLPA,
sure.
But based on the CBA, it increases 5% every year. So it would have been 87.7. What's $300,000?
For some teams, it might make a difference.
Well, for these teams, not so much. So now it's an $88 million cap that teams, so an extra $300,000, maybe come trade deadline that benefits a few clubs.
Yep. Can't wait till we get to $100 million. Let's go, Gary. Come on.
A couple
Drop
more
that
years.
HRR, exactly.
I think we'll be at 92, 93, 94. Anyway, Lots going on, but this is all a good sign because things are moving up in the right direction, continuing to climb for the National Hockey League. The different sponsorships, the broadcast, the ratings have been fantastic.
Business is great.
People keep listening to us on this thing.
Billionaires want to pay billions of dollars for franchises. There's still talk about expansion. The Panthers have left the ice. We have Broberg and Kane. And Evander Kane will be the last player to leave the ice. You can editorialize it the way you want.
Yes. What's he doing there? Oh, he missed very close to the net. He's trying to shelf it. That didn't work.
He could be an X factor. I mean, he's been banged up. He was banged up in the last round.
Yep.
And we'll see. He could be a major determining factor because he's the type of guy, like a Zach Hyman, that will go to the net and try to disturb.
Sorry, Corey Perry was hiding behind all the Oiler fans, so we didn't even get to see him. But he shoots it down and.
Yep. 91 and 90 off the ice. Okay.
He shot it into the empty net or tried to hit another puck and got deflected. If people care about that kind of stuff, well, that's what just happened. But now everybody's off the ice. They're going to get out there. The crew's out there to pick up all the pucks, get everything ready. And guess what?
Yep.
Game 1's around the corner, buddy.
Exactly. In about a minute, we're going to take off our headsets and get ready for Game 1.
Yes.
It's been Face Off Live on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. I'm Dennis Bernstein. I'll be back with David Pagnotta at 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday ahead of Game 2. Again, Channel 91, Sports USA Call with John Allers, Brian Boucher, and Billy Jaffe. Panthers Call, Sirius 161, XM 219, Doug Plagins and Billy Lindsay. Oilers, Sirius 162, XM 220, the great Jack Michaels and Bob Stauffer, who are our neighbors in Press Row this evening. Dave, before we go, your anytime goal scorer.
Well, yes, like we had who did I pick? I totally forgot who I picked. Oh, Tkachuk. Matthew Tkachuk, anytime goal for the Florida Panthers in this one.
And I have the Boosh Bomb, Evan Bouchard, anytime goal. So if you're playing fantasy hockey, you want to might pick those two guys. So, again, we're signing off from Emirates Bank Arena.
Quickly, who do you got? Game 1.
Panthers, but I got Oilers in 6. How about you?
Okay, I got Panthers tonight, Panthers in 6.
From Emirates Bank Arena, enjoy Game 1. We'll talk to you on Monday night.
Energy this Pride Month on Andy Cohen's Kiki Lounge.
Empowering sets from the Kiki Lounge house DJs every night. Long lost vintage Fire Island DJ mixes. It's the Pine Walk collection. And top it all off with my monthly mixtape. Find it all in the Kiki Lounge, my exclusive SiriusXM music channel. Now for a limited time on Channel 79 and on the SiriusXM app.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my...
Hey, hockey fans. Thank you for joining us once again here on Toronto Sports Insider for another NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs matchup. Thank you all for getting this chat fired up every single night. Keep up the good work, and cheers to every single one of you. Make sure you guys hit that like button, share out the link. The best way to get more fans into the chat and make this party even more crazy is to share it out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, however you do your social media. Much appreciated. Thank you all for being here once again. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and become an insider, and let's get back to the hockey. See you guys in the chat.
Requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trading terms apply.
Every team, every game. The 2024 Stanley Cup Playoffs.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
Now, Sirius XM NHL Network Radio presents
the 2024 Stanley Cup Finals.
Game 1.
The Edmonton Oilers at the Florida Panthers. Live on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
And the Florida Panthers.
Bennett across the line with Rodriguez. Back to Bennett. He scores! A nice two-man play, give and go between Evan Rodriguez and Sam Bennett.
Tonight's game is sponsored by Discover, the official credit card of the NHL.
Here's a turnover and a chance for Nugent Hopkins. He goes to the backhand and scores! Ryan Nugent Hopkins.
Now, live from Emirates Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida, here are John Ullers, Brian Boucher, and Billy Jaffe.
We have finally arrived at Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. And for the second consecutive year, the Florida Panthers find themselves at the ultimate stop in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The 5th consecutive year that the Stanley Cup has traveled through the state of Florida, following 3 consecutive trips as Eastern Conference titleists for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and now 2 straight for the Florida Panthers. Their opponent is the Edmonton Oilers, one of the best offensive machines in the entire National Hockey League. 4th in the league in goal scoring in the regular season this year, Brian Boucher, against a Florida team that I don't know if a lot of people know led the league in goals against in the regular season and has continued to play very stingy in this postseason. Is it the old school unstoppable object versus the immovable force, or is that oversimplifying this matchup?
No, I think it's exactly that. I mean, you got a team in Florida that I think since Paul Maurice took over as coach, it's been a work in progress to get this team that was an offensive juggernaut under Andrew Burnett to be more defensive-minded, to play more of a playoff style. They've accomplished that, and the success has been in the games that they've played, in the journey that they've had in the last 2 seasons. And then on the other side, Edmonton is a team that possesses tremendous talent offensively. 5-on-5, they can score, but they really do their damage on specialty teams. Their power play is one that you don't want to test. I know that the Florida Panthers have a good penalty kill, but this is a very talented group in the Edmonton Oilers, and it'll be interesting to see what wins. Is it team defense, or is it the star power and the talent that the Edmonton Oilers possess to eventually see if they can win a championship? It'll be a heck of a series. I'm looking forward to it, and to see how guys like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl in their first go-round in a final, how they react on the biggest stage.
Only 4 players on the Edmonton roster have been to a Stanley Cup final before. Corey Perry, the only member of their team that has captured a Stanley Cup championship. Many in the media have made the matchup in this series boil down to Alexander Barkov, the reigning Selke Trophy winning top defensive forward in the National Hockey League. Second time he's won it, against, of course, the great Connor McDavid. But again, I pose the same question of you, Brian. Am I oversimplifying it, or are they oversimplifying that?
Well, the problem is that Edmonton has a 2-headed monster. It's not just Connor McDavid. They've got another number 1 center in Leon Draisaitl, and for the Florida Panthers, they're going to have to rely on multiple lines, multiple pairs of defense to defend against either Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl. That's the reality. When Chris Knoblauch separates McDavid and Draisaitl, they become a much more difficult opponent to play against. It'll be a handful for the Florida Panthers. But when you look at their lineup, they've prepared themselves for this moment. They know that they can defend against other teams' top players. Other guys will have to pull on the rope. Will they chase the matchup? We shall see. But I suspect that Paul Maurice has trusted all of his forwards to play against the top players in Edmonton.
Of course, this time of year, it's much more than just one single matchup. It's the Stanley Cup Final. When we return, a conversation I had earlier with the commissioner of the National Hockey League, Mr. Gary Bettman. You're listening to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final on Sports USA.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. N76, visit staples.com/print for details.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's. Save $40 on select 5-gallon HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams paint, like Weather Shield, Showcase, or ceiling paint. Plus, save $10 on drywall PVA primer and get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Lowe's knows paint. Lowe's knows pros. Offers valid through 6/14. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
O'Reilly.
Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to protect against wear and deposits. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99 in-store only. Limit supply. Learn more at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Oh, thank you, and it's good to be with you. 4 nations involves Finland, Sweden, Canada, and the U.S., and the tournament will be played between February 20th and February 12th. Actually, I said the numbers backwards. And we're playing at the TD Garden in Boston and in the Bell Center in Montreal, 2 historic Original 6 cities, great fan bases, and I know the players and the fans are looking forward to it.
And very quickly, it will be a round robin with a championship game, correct?
Correct. Okay. Absolutely.
Everyone's looking forward to that. The biggest news around the National Hockey League since the end of the regular season, right at the end of the regular season, the Arizona Coyotes moved to Salt Lake City. A 5-year window has been given to Alex Marullo, the former owner of the Coyotes, to potentially bring a team back to the Valley of the Sun. Does that mean that expansion in the next 5 years is in play?
Well, what it means is that the Coyotes are what we call inactive. The only thing that moved to Utah was the hockey operations department and the players. And so if a new building can come out of the ground in the next 5 years, they'll be giving the team back. It'll activate, and we'll then do a draft to restock the team. And so it doesn't really fit into any of the labels that any of these transactions typically fall into. It's rather unique, but in the short term addressed the fact that the Coyotes really didn't have a suitable major league facility to play in, and it was going to be at least 3 to 5 years best case for them to get a suitable arena. Utah's going to be great. Ryan Smith and his organization have done everything incredibly. The number of things they have to do in a very short window is incredible, and they're up to the task. And the interest, I think they have over 30,000 season ticket deposits. So the vital signs are all good for the franchise in Utah, and hopefully there'll be a new arena on a timely basis in Arizona.
Speaking of short windows, the landscape in sports broadcasting is changing, and regional sports networks are not alone in that they are changing. Diamond Sports bankruptcy court hearing is supposed to be ruled upon at the end of July. If Diamond Sports were to dissolve, I know you've got 10 to 12 markets that could be affected. Is the end of July to the beginning of a training camp and another season enough of an on-ramp for 12 of your member teams to get their TD houses in order?
Well, from our standpoint, the bankruptcy proceeding has dragged on way too long.
Yes,
we were looking for certainty for last season,
right?
And now we're worrying about next season, except our teams and we have had an opportunity to understand what the options are. Vegas, for example, and Arizona, now Utah, went to over-the-air television. The sports regional broadcasting landscape is changing dramatically, and we're on top of the evolution of what needs to be done. We think if Diamond, the Bally Sports Networks go under, there'll be options for our players and our fans to make sure that they're getting what they want out of the coverage. And at the end of the day, we'll adapt to whatever needs to be done. But if you look at what's going on the national level and all the rumors about the NBA's national packages, sports content has never been more valuable, and the marketplace has never been robust. So at the regional level, it's just going through a transformation, and we'll adapt to it.
And finally, you commented on some of the comments about this season being the greatest season for the NHL.
Other people's words, not mine. And it's great. I agree.
And you pointed out a number of reasons for why that indeed is the case. Is this the best place the National Hockey League has been in your tenure?
Well, in terms of attendance, setting a record, in terms of television ratings, up again dramatically, and in many cases, records. Our fan base has never been broader. Our ownership. Our franchises have never been stronger. But most important, what takes place on the ice is simply incredible. Our players have amazing skill. Our competitive balance is unrivaled in sports. And when you look at the unpredictability of what goes on in the entertainment value of our game, that's why things are so good.
Those are some of the many reasons, and congratulations on another great season, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you. Great to be with you, and we're looking forward to an exciting Stanley Cup Final.
Yes,
Enjoy
we are.
it.
Yes, we are. Gary Bettman, the Commissioner of the National Hockey League. You're listening to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final on Sports USA.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Because now at Staples, you can save up to $50 on your print purchase. From posters and flyers to signs and menus, Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. And with Staples Print Perfect Guarantee, it's done right or it's printed again free. Plus, same-day service is available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. Get it printed right at Staples. And now get up to $50 off your print purchase. N76, visit staples.com/print for details.
That's the sound of steak searing in its juices on your new pellet grill. You heard that right. The Weber Searwood Pellet Grill can smoke low and slow at 180 degrees all the way to a high heat sear at 600. With the Weber Searwood, you can cook on the direct flame over the full grate sear zone. You'll hear the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Searwood Pellet Grill just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
With T-Mobile, you can get tons of benefits and still save, because nobody likes having to choose. It's like getting romance and sci-fi.
I love you. Also, I'm a robot.
At T-Mobile, you can get the benefits you want and still save on every plan versus AT&T and Verizon. See how with our savings calculator at T-Mobile.com/switch. Plus, switch and keep your phone. We'll pay it off up to $800.
Via virtual prepaid card in 15 days. Qualifying unlocked device, credit service, and timely redemption required. Card has no cash access and expires in 6 months. See T-Mobile.com.
Moments away from puck drop in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers. Time for tonight's Keys to the Game, as brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals on everything from technology to print and marketing services. Save more with the new Easy Rewards program. Brian Boucher, tonight's Keys.
Well, I think for the Florida Panthers, they are a good forechecking team. I want to see them pressure Edmonton's defense. I don't think Edmonton's seen a forecheck like they're going to see from the Florida Panthers. I think that'll be a big key for the Panthers. Forecheck, gain possession from there and get to work. And for Edmonton on the other side of it, possess the puck. If you possess the puck in the offensive zone, you force Florida to have to defend, potentially take penalties. I know they are a disciplined team, but if you possess it, get them running around. Perhaps they take penalties, and then from there, Edmonton's power play can do some damage.
The third member of our broadcast team is our ringside analyst. Here's Billy Jaffe.
All right, thanks a lot. Great to be with you guys again. Lineups for tonight. No changes for the Florida Panthers for the fourth consecutive game, Johnny and Booch. That means that Kyle Oposo and Steven Lawrence are your right wingers and left wingers on the fourth line, and that means that Sergei Bobrovsky makes his 18th consecutive appearance in these NHL playoffs. Not so much for the Edmonton Oilers. Only one line-up change with regard to player in and out. Warren Foegele comes in, Derek Ryan goes out, but a lot of line changes by Chris Knobloch. Not to the McDavid line. He still has Nugent Hopkins and Hyman. But Draisaitl gets Evander Kane. Some question if Kane was healthy, but he's in. And Dylan Holloway. McLeod gets Foegele, the aforementioned Foegele, and Corey Perry in, who's now playing for his fifth team in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And your fourth line, Adam Henrique is the center there with Janmark and Connor Brown. Also on the back end, one change in the sense that the pair of Nurse and Cece are back together, back upstairs.
The goaltending matchup, as Billy alluded to, Sergei Bobrovsky has played every minute of this postseason for the Florida Panthers. He's 12-5 with a 2.28 goals against a .908 save percentage, and 1 shutout. That was game 1 against the Rangers in the Eastern Conference Final. Stuart Skinner was removed in the second round for a couple of games by head coach Chris Knobloch. Did not play in games 4 and 5 against the Canucks, but returned triumphantly to win games 6 and 7 and advance to the Western Final. In these playoffs, he's appeared in 16 games. He's 11 and 5 with a 2.50 goals against average, just an .897 save percentage, and Skinner has 1 shutout to his credit. However, since his return to the lineup, he is 6 and 2 with a goals against of under 2, Brian Boucher, and a save percentage of .920.
Yeah, I mean, for Stuart Skinner, it's been a bumpy road at times in this postseason. Maybe it's a case where he needed a bit of a reset. But make no mistake, since the bumpiness that he faced earlier in the playoffs, the last 3 games in that Dallas series, he steadied the ship. And he gave up a couple of weak ones in the loss in Game 3. He was one of the reasons why the Oilers lost in that game. But after that moment, he shut the door and provided the goaltending that was needed for this Oilers team. We'll see how he responds in the biggest stage. This is a totally different story when you get to the Stanley Cup Final. All eyes will be on Skinner.
And it is so rare for a goaltender to lose his net in the postseason and get it back as triumphantly as Stuart Skinner has. Remember, this is a young man who has really taken a journey. He split 2 years as recently as just 4 years ago between the East Coast Hockey League playing in Wichita and in the American League in Bakersfield. This was a guy who was probably as far away from a Stanley Cup Final in those moments as you can be as a professional hockey player.
Yeah, and listen, I think for goaltenders it's a little bit more commonplace to end up in the East Coast Hockey League. The bottom line for a goaltender when it comes to development is you have to play. If you're not playing at the American League level, then you got to go play in the East Coast League level. He's taken a long road to get to where he's at right now. Sometimes that long traveled road is what seasons do, and certainly he's dealt with the adversity during these playoffs, and we'll see if he's come through on the other side. As I mentioned, this is a big moment for him and his group. We'll see how he responds against a Florida team that had the experience last year but fell just short.
13 members of this current Florida Panthers roster participated in the Stanley Cup Final a year ago, in which the Panthers were ousted in a 5-game series, 4-1, by the Vegas Golden Knights. This is the 3rd ever trip to the Stanley Cup Final for the Panthers. They have won just 1 game in their previous 9 Stanley Cup Final games. For the Edmonton Oilers, it's not the 80s anymore, but they've been here a total of 8 times in their franchise history. They have a mark of 5-2. They won 5 Stanley Cups in the 80s and including 1990, but this is the first time they've been here in 18 years, and of course, they have not won since that 1990 championship some 34 years ago. And they also carry with them, Brian Boucher, the weight of an entire nation. It has been now 31 years since Canada had a Stanley Cup championship winning franchise.
All of a sudden, everybody in Canada is an Edmonton Oiler fan. And
well, maybe not in Calgary.
You're probably right about that. Maybe Vancouver, too.
That's a good point.
But, yeah, there's no doubt that they carry the weight of a nation as far as bringing the Stanley Cup back to Canada. And I having been in Edmonton in the last round, I can tell you that those fans, they are juiced up.
They are chomping at the bit.
Oh, yeah, they're excited,
ready.
and they cannot wait to get this thing started.
These fans are ready as well at Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. 18,000 plus faithful Panther fans. The Stanley Cup is on display at center ice right now. The teams have taken their positions on their respective blue lines. The officials at center ice, and we will send it down to the public address announcer as we get set for the singing of tonight's national anthems, both Canadian and U.S.
Please turn your attention to the ice and welcome tonight's hero among us. 97-year-old World War II veteran, Technical Sergeant Bob Toski, United States Army. Thank you for your service and dedication to our country. Tonight's national anthems are signed by Florida resident and deaf performer with PXP, Kathy Oshrain. And now, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps for the singing of O Canada, performed tonight by John Acosta.
Oh
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Please remain standing for the presentation of our nation's colors by the City of Sunrise Honor Guard. Here to perform the Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome national recording artist Madison Watkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that Star-Spangled Banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The two respective fan bases trying to out-sing one another during the national anthems here prior to the start of Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Florida Panthers and Edmonton Oilers from Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. The officials for tonight's game, as assigned by the National Hockey League, the referees are Dan O'Rourke and Steve Kazari. The linesmen are Matt McPherson and Johnny Murray. The Panthers will be in their home reds, blue pants, a white stripe through the middle of the sweater, blue helmets. And for the Oilers, their road whites, blue shoulder patches, white helmets, and blue pants. And we are just about set to go in Game 1. Connor McDavid out to start for Chris Knobloch's Oilers. So right away, Brian Boucher, we get a chance to look at the matchup. Obviously, this is what Paul Maurice wants to start the series as he gets last change as the home team.
Yeah, it's the Barkov line that will go up against McDavid's line, and we'll see what wins, right?
Strength against strength.
Right, a real good defensive line. But listen, Barkov's line, very good defensively, but they also go offensively. It's an interesting line that's put together. Verhaeghe's had a terrific postseason. So has Sam Reinhart, who had a terrific regular season as well as an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. But There's no doubt they've got defensive responsibility, and they will have to be responsible against a McDavid line that is fast, it's crafty, and they find ways to put pucks in the back of the net.
There may not be a collection of more dynamic offensive forwards than that of the Edmonton Oilers, but you mentioned it. Barkov won a Selke. Reinhart scored 65 goals between the regular season and postseason, and Verhaeghe's the leading goal scorer for the Panthers in these playoffs. We're underway. The Oilers moving left to right offensively, and they control the opening faceoff back in their own end. It's Evan Bouchard ahead looking for Hyman. It goes right through him and on net. Bobrovsky turns it over, and Hyman is there to snap it right on net, and a point-blank save right away for Bobrovsky, and it's his own fault. Puck came to him, and he wanted to play it, but the Oilers got on top of him quickly and deflected it. Now Ekholm at the line across for Bouchard. The defenseman play catch. Up the left boards comes Matthias Ekholm all the way to the corner. Drops it off. Hyman changing direction, and he lost Forsling. Walks to the side of the net, takes it in behind the Florida goal. Now tried to hand it off to McDavid, but that was blocked, and Forsling is converged upon behind the net. He's able to move it to the corner, and Verhaeghe calm with it back in his own zone, but again, the Oilers get a change and get in on the forecheck as Draisaitl was all over Forsling. Bush, you talked about Florida's forecheck early on. It's Edmonton's forecheck.
Yeah, and it was a turnover by Bobrovsky, an unforced error that allowed Edmonton to get to their possession game in the offensive zone, yet Florida withstands the early pressure.
Panthers get it into the Edmonton zone for the first time and go crashing to the corner. Spinning off of a hit was Draisaitl to the line. Rodriguez flips it right back in. Looking over his shoulder is Darnell Nurse, the defenseman for Edmonton, back to get it, moves it up the boards, and Evander Kane slides it rink wide and out center. Cody Ceci can't get it deep into the Florida zone, and it's a quick regroup for the Panthers as the Oilers, I think, had too many men on the ice in the midst of a change there, intercepting a pass at the blue line, and maybe the first break of the game goes Edmonton's way. Luosterainen pitches it in on the backhand, and the Oilers go D to D and outlet up the right side off a deflection. It goes the length of the ice, so no icing. Connor Brown couldn't get to it before Bobrovsky from behind his own net plays it away. Panthers ahead at center. Oliver Ekman-Larsson trying to find Anton Lundell, but that didn't connect. And it's Brett Kulak for the Oilers who goes hard off the glass and out. A regroup in the neutral zone for the Panthers. Lundell banks it back in. First touch of the game for Stuart Skinner as he took it off the end boards just with the paddle of his stick. Kyle Oposo to the corner for Florida. He gets run over as he tries to regain possession. Bodies strewn everywhere in the Edmonton zone. Meantime, the puck at center. Janmark touches it, and here comes Ryan McLeod with speed. Corey Perry gets blown up but plays it back to the line, and Ekholm's one-timer goes over top of the net. Stephen Lawrence doesn't have a stick, so he plays the body, and that allows Oposo to pick up the puck and churn to center ice with it.
Lawrence had a big hit there on Corey Perry as the Oilers entered the zone.
Panthers get it back after the dump in. Stenlund sends it across. Ekblad coming off his right point, can't get his shot through. Verhaeghe keeps it alive down low for Sam Bennett. He's bumped behind the net and loses possession of the puck. Evan Bouchard for Edmonton moves it ahead. Boy, Warren Fogle had gotten behind the defense, but they couldn't thread the needle to him. And now Florida with a regroup. Barkov's pass deflected at center, and it's Edmonton that possesses. And they will inadvertently ice the puck. Connor McDavid does not like the call as he takes his mouth guard out and turns immediately to talk to the linesman. As we get a whistle just over 3 minutes in.
Oh, I think the energy is there. Obviously, for all these guys, they want to make sure that first shift is something where you either get a body on somebody or absorb a hit. We've seen that. And the Panthers withstand an early mistake from Bobrovsky early on where he turned it over. And from there, Zach Hyman rang one right off the mask of Bobrovsky, but the Oilers with the early pressure.
Yeah, all he did is give a point-blank chance to a guy who had 54 goals in the regular season. 14 more in these playoffs for Hyman. He leads all goal scorers in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Panthers go to work off an offensive zone faceoff. Verhaeghe from behind the net tries to send it to the line, but he split the defense. It comes all the way down to Bobrovsky. Sergei Bobrovsky has allowed 2 goals or less in 10 of his last 11 starts in these playoffs. He watches as the Panthers move it ahead at give and go. Barkov right on the doorstep. Verhaeghe, he scores! Florida on the rush gets the first goal of the Stanley Cup Final.
Well, we talked about the Barkov line being very responsible defensively, but we also mentioned that this is a line that can go offensively, and it's a goal that is scored directly off the rush. 2 consecutive beautiful passes, one by Reinhart on the right wing to Barkov, who was driving the center lane, and then Barkov was able to throw a beautiful backhand feed to the left side to Carter Verhaeghe, who was able to put it past the blocker side of Stuart Skinner. A beautiful goal from the top line of Florida here early on in Game 1.
10th of the playoffs for Carter Verhaeghe, and the Panthers lead 1-0. In these playoffs, when scoring first, Florida is 7-2, and that is just the 6th time in the postseason that Edmonton has failed to score first. Off the ensuing draw, the Oilers get it in behind the Florida net, and we get a whistle.
Stuart Skinner's net was dislodged.
Yeah, it was off at the other end of the ice. I beg your pardon. Yeah. I did not see that. So let's go down to Billy Jaffe.
Hey, guys, Boosh, you talk about beautiful passes on the rush. How about the little breakout pass that was made, and it was up to Barkov, who turned up the ice, and he got away from a guy wearing 97 in the Edmonton Oilers sweater. He was busting his butt to get him, but Barkov showing some great stuff, and then the passing off the rush was excellent too. But short pass and the breakout, I think also a big key to that play, because it allows for the fluidness to begin.
Yeah, and you force McDavid's line to have to defend at that point, and McDavid, who was trying to chase down Barkov, couldn't get up the ice quick enough, and 2 consecutive beautiful passes led to the goal.
Off a face-off, Edmonton with a face-off win, and Kulak's shot was tipped on the way, and that was a change-up that gave Bobrovsky problems. Puck to the line, and Edmonton does not keep it in, and the play whistled down offside as it immediately comes back across the stripe. So Verhaeghe from Barkov and Reinhart at 3:59 of the first period. It's 1-0 Florida.
And another thing that intrigues me in this series that I didn't see in the Western Conference Final, it was not an overly physical series in the Dallas-Edmonton series. And I didn't get the sense that Florida and the New York Rangers was as physical either. For the Panthers, their toughest series was the one against Boston. And I think Paul Maurice alluded to that series as being a war.
He called it mean.
Mean, yeah. And I wonder how physical this series is going to be. It's not in Edmonton's DNA to play that style. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out here early on.
It's definitely in the Panthers' DNA as they enter the Edmonton zone again. Nico Mikkola, the defenseman, middle of the ice from the line. That one nearly snuck through the 5-hole on Skinner, who looks a little shaky early on.
Understandable. His first Stanley Cup final, a totally different stage.
Panthers send it right back in as it comes out center ice. Evander Kane trying to shovel up the left boards. Draisaitl, though, is pinned inside the zone. The Panthers don't give you a lot of room. They play hard. They play on their toes. It's a hard way to play over the course of 9 months. But so far, they've done it. Luosterainen steals at center, brings it into the Edmonton zone. His shot deflected just wide of the net by Cody Ceci. Puck recovered by Florida. Kulikov from the line can't get it through. And the Oilers start back. Here comes Connor Brown. Caught on the back check and bumped off the puck as Tarasenko came back to get a piece of him. And now out of the corner, Tarasenko nudges it for Lundell, and the Panthers escape the zone.
Ekman Larsson absorbed a big hit from Adam Henrique. Talked about Edmonton. Will they be physical? Henrique with a big hit on Ekman Larsson as his face was facing the glass.
Icing the call against Florida. It's that time of year, isn't it, Brian? Because Adam Henrique is not a player who's known as an overly physical presence, but, you know, everything gets thrown aside this time of year.
That's what I mean. I think early on, you either take a hit or you give a hit. You have to find a way to initiate. It's one way to get the nerves out of your system, and you're right. It's not in Adam Henrique's DNA really to play that way, but if you can get a lick on somebody, do it.
Here comes McDavid. Cuts in off the right boards. Tries to go back against the grain on Bobrovsky, who seals it off and covers up.
A beautiful save by Bobrovsky. And in the morning skate, at the end of the morning skates, the Florida Panthers do this exact drill where the forward will drive wide on the right side and cut to the middle. And McDavid, who cut in from the right side on his forehand, tried to get Bobrovsky to open up the 5-hole. But Bobrovsky, moving from his left to his right, was able to shut down the 5-hole. McDavid got around Ekblad, and a terrific save by Bobrovsky here in the first period.
Only 2 players in the history of the Stanley Cup playoffs have averaged more points per game than Connor McDavid. Their names, Gretzky, and Lemieux. So you can do that drill if you're the Florida Panthers, but you can't replicate when 97 does it, can you?
You're absolutely, when Nick Cousins is doing it, it's a little bit different when Connor McDavid is doing it.
1-0 Panthers. As again, Edmonton possesses at center ice. Ceci nudges it ahead. Across the line, it's Ryan McLeod. Little stutter step move goes behind the net. Got away from Mikula, but took a hit from Montour. Fogle from behind the net tried to stuff it, but Bobrovsky got to the near side post in time. Puck in behind the net. Anton Lundell does the heavy lifting for Florida and moves it up the boards. Tarasenko peels back and goes rink wide for Mikula. A lot of room for the big defenseman now. From center ice, he puts it on the window and into the Edmonton zone. Kevin Stenlund off the Florida bench. His first to it on the right boards. McDavid taps it free, and Ceci from behind the net tries to find Hyman, but he's stepped into by Gus Forsling right at the blue line, and Forsling whips it back into the Edmonton zone. Oilers try again, and here they come. McDavid with speed. Throws it off the boards down low, and trying to send it on net was Ekholm, the defenseman, from a bad angle. Ends up in the right corner. Nugent Hopkins furthers it along, but it's hoisted out to center ice by Aaron Ekblad. Ekblad, the first overall selection in the 2014 draft. The second, third, and fourth selections from that same draft, all playing in this game tonight. And a big hit at the blue line on McDavid as he was taken over the apple cart on a hip check by Forsling. Holloway gets to the puck at the blue line and whistles all over the place. We got our first penalty coming up. And I think this is going to go against the Oilers.
Edmonton, minor penalty, 14, tripping.
Dan O'Rourke gives us the call. Ekholm gets a seat. The Panthers have the lead and a power play when we come back. 12:27 to go in the first. 1-0 Florida. You're listening to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final on Sports USA. Back after these local messages.
Country music's biggest stars.
Hey, it's Jelly Roll.
I'm Thomas Rhett.
And I'm Lainey Wilson.
And biggest fans.
Oh man, country music, can you beat this live?
Converge on downtown Nashville. It's CMA Fest Week.
Oh my.
With exclusive live interviews, performances, and more.
What happens at CMA Fest stays at CMA Fest. But we're going to have a day.
Hey, Insiders. Hey, you. Yeah, you. I'm talking to you, the one that hasn't subscribed yet. I know, there's like 70% of you guys that watch these games, listen to these games, and don't hit that subscribe button. Come on, it's free. Hit that subscribe button and let's help this community grow and continue to get bigger and better and bring more sports content every single day. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get this party back in action. Back to the hockey.
Channel. Now for a limited time on Channel 79 and on the SiriusXM app.
AccessInsuranceGroup.com. Chemco is building industry across Canada, and now they're on the lookout for civil and electrical project managers, estimators, and superintendents to join their dedicated team. Why Chemco? Because Chemco cares. They put people first, offering top-tier compensation packages and an unwavering commitment to safety. At Chemco, safety isn't just a priority, it's everybody's business. Ready to be part of a team that truly values you? Visit chemco.com/careers today.
Even though your 20s are behind you, you still get to have firsts. Like the first time your knee hurts after a morning run. Or the first time you felt certain muscles after a workout. Whatever your pain, Advil Liquid Gels are here for these firsts. Advil Liquid Gels provide liquid fast relief for everyday aches and pains. So you can get back to your everyday active life where firsts still happen. When pain says you can't, Advil says you can. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
All games, all seasons. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
Welcome you back to Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, live from Florida's Amerant Bank Arena. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. This is a Florida power play. Oilers 50-50 jackpot, $1.7 million right now and climbing. Early bird prizing tonight, a chance to win 2 tickets to Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final, as well as a signed McDavid and Draisaitl jersey. Off the draw, the Panthers fumble the puck in the high slot. Edmonton has killed off 28 power plays in a row. A franchise record covering 10 straight games. And the Oilers' Darnell Nurse breaks up an outlet pass. He'll send it off the linesman. Nugent Hopkins wants a change. Adam Henrique stays out there. Broberg and Ceci come on, and Connor Brown in the mix. Remember, no Derek Ryan in the lineup tonight. Here's a shot redirected off a skate. Barkov will shovel it through Tkachuk and around the boards, handled by Brandon Montour. Florida power play, 23% in the postseason. Tkachuk from the goal line will give it up. Waiting, loading up his Barkov, tried to shovel it in front, deflected, swing and a miss. Verhaeghe left corner. Verhaeghe sent it across to Barkov. Top of the right circle, down low, Tkachuk slid it to the slot, shot Verhaeghe, not much on it. And Skinner able to make the save. This Florida power play, of course, Bob, the most notable goal it's perhaps ever scored on the power play. Game 4 of the conference final against the New York Rangers. They needed it. They lose that game in OT, they're down 3-1, and maybe it's the Rangers playing the Oilers, but they got an overtime playoff goal off a beautiful setup, Reinhart the finish.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that they've got is they've got a guy in Tkachuk that's got a silky set of mitts, and he can make plays down low and tuck pucks up high in a hurry. Keep an eye on him.
Lundell off the face-off, guided back to the point. Forsling from Rodriguez. Vladimir Tarasenko checked by Matthias Janmark. Second unit out for the Panthers. Still 47 seconds left in the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill. Here's Sam Bennett. Had another strong campaign, and boy, has he been a good playoff performer. Bennett operating down low, will give it up for Rodriguez. Challenging up top, Nugent Hopkins. He's out there with Janmark, Kulak, and Broberg, and mishandled at the point by the normally reliable Forsling. He'll back off at center. 25 seconds left in the man advantage. Forsling shoots it in. Ryan McLeod bumped off the puck. Forsling dashes over, maintains just inside the blue line. A big hit on Kulak, the erasure from Lundell. And clearly, Bob, they've let some of that stuff go early on. A shot from a point deflected. Kulak lays it off to Ryan McLeod. He's checked by Sam Bennett. The puck clogged up along the end boards. Broberg battling. And now the power play is over, and Janmark hits Ekholm coming out of the bench. Coming out of the penalty box, rather. He'll pull up right-hand side. Drift to the high slot, unable to get a shot away. And though Sam Bennett felt he was flung down, there was no penalty called. Connor McDavid off to Draisaitl. Out there with Zach Hyman. This is the threesome after a successful penalty kill, and it's ripped on net by Bouchard to save Bobrovsky, and the rebound cleared by the captain, Alexander Barkov. Turned over at center ice by Ekblad. Here's Bouchard to Draisaitl. Dropped it off for McDavid. Heavy traffic. One-timer whistled wide by Ekholm, and that's taken by Bouchard. He'll lay it off to Draisaitl. One-timer Bouchard redirected into the waiting mitt of Sergei Bobrovsky. Some traffic in front of the net involving Hyman, who's wrapped up with Ekblad. 9:45 to go in the first period. The Oilers have outshot the Panthers 5-3, and they've now killed 29 opposing power plays in a row, but they remain down 1-0. Carter Verhaeghe, thus far, the only goal in this Stanley Cup opener from Sunrise, Florida, on the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm proud to call myself an Albertan. You know, after years of touring this great province in my Ford F-150, I've learned the value of driving a tough, capable, smart truck. Whether you're working for the weekend or long-hauling it like I am, there's an F-150 for every Albertan, with plenty of options to choose from, like available Pro Power on board. So if you're looking for a new truck, stop by your Alberta Ford dealer and tell them PB sent you.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Legacy Heating and Cooling Jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
Coming out of the TV timeout, Chris Knobloch elects to stay with McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Ekholm, Bouchard. His best five in a face-off win for Draisaitl. McDavid shot ricochets a couple of times out of the reach of Zach Hyman. Still loses a backhander point blank. Stopped was Leon Draisaitl by Bobrovsky. Florida a little ragged in its own zone right now, and Edmonton unable to take advantage. Draisaitl again battling free along the end boards. Still digging against Aaron Ekblad, who's just chasing. Ekholm sends it across. Bouchard high slot. Glove save made by Sergei Bobrovsky. And thus far, Bob, it's been Edmonton failing to capitalize on some point-blank looks. The Panthers have not been seamless in their own zone.
No, it's the Oilers that have created some turnovers due to a hard-pressed forecheck. And Bobrovsky's been very good, and right now he's tracking pucks well, Jack. The Oilers haven't got enough in front of him. A little bit of his shift here with line change. Out comes Henrique in between Holloway and Kane after the Oilers load up McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. Henrique spotted in here, and that's, again, the versatility of Edmonton's interchangeable parts, especially down the middle. Off the draw, tossed out by Kulikov. Nurse angles one up the left-hand side, intended for Kane. Booted out of play inadvertently by Kulikov. 9:07 to go in the first period. The Panthers, well, they were missing some guys at the beginning of the season. They didn't have guys like Sam Bennett completely healthy, and even Barkov once again missed nearly 10 games. And Matthew Tkachuk got off to a slow start, Bob, but then they started to gel. And similar to the Dallas series, you've got two of the best teams in the league since January 1st. Of course, Edmonton, no one better since U.S. Thanksgiving, and it wasn't even close. Off the draw, Bobrovsky up the right-hand side, and Rodriguez will tuck it inside the blue line. Florida President's Trophy winner 2 years ago. That was the same year Edmonton went to the conference final. Then the Panthers, the Stanley Cup final last year, while the Oilers, for the second straight year, lost to the eventual champion. Shot by Ceci from long-range right point, and a save made by Bobrovsky. Now in the third year, they meet in the Stanley Cup Finals. So in many ways, a long-awaited collision course. Here's Ekman Larson trying to cue ball it off the skate of Sam Bennett. Broken up, and Ryan McLeod will gather and clear down the right-hand side. Mikkola defending. Fogle in on the forecheck. Mikkola turned it over behind his own net, popped back up, gave it away again, waved away from McLeod, and now Tarasenko with some speed. He'll try to outskate Kulak, drop it off. Lundell shot off the pads of Skinner, and the rebound off the half wall. Mikkola sealed off his man. Luostarinen couldn't get there. McLeod takes a bump from Tarasenko, and it's shoveled ahead to Fogle by Broberg. Fogle mishandled. Montour gave it away, got it back. That was another guy that was missing at the start of the year for the Panthers. And now Luostarinen. And a shot taken by Montour. He missed the net. Tried to go high glove from a point-blank situation. Top of the circles, and he missed the net. Came off the boards. Lundell grappling with Fogle for puck possession, and it's Fogle who wins that battle. McDavid will skate right past Forsling to negate icing. He's crowded in the right-hand corner and now tried to center, and that was intercepted by Montour, who eventually just delivers a soft chip down the middle. That's grabbed by Bouchard, and in transition, here come the Oilers left to right. Given away at the blue line and snapped back into the Edmonton zone by Forsling. Sam Reinhart on the puck for Florida. Behind the net for Hagee. He's toppled by Bouchard. Ekholm defending Reinhart. Closing quickly on Reinhart, took the puck from him and feathered one ahead for McDavid. He gave it away, and it's tucked back in by Barkov. Skinner shoots it over to Ekholm, hard up the left-hand boards through everyone, and back to the Florida blue line. Ekman Larson, rink wide to Barkov, and it's wristed down deep one more time by Florida. 6:40 to play, first period. The Panthers lead the Oilers 1-0 on a goal by Carter Verhaeghe. Here's a steal by Matthew Tkachuk, blocked by Draisaitl, tried to come up ice, but Edmonton disjointed. Given away by Sam Bennett. A couple of sloppy turnovers by both teams. And now it's Edmonton 2-on-2. That'll look very close to offside. Holloway and Draisaitl was not called, and the Panthers will slingshot it up the right-hand side. Holloway to Draisaitl at the red line. Sends it ahead for Cody Ceci. A snapshot hooked wide. And the rebound, Rodriguez. Coming in hard was Dylan Holloway to maintain the zone. Big hit on Kulikov. He got freight trained by Draisaitl on his way off. And down on the ice is Holloway. Skating free up to center is Oliver Ekman-Larsson, and he'll punch it forward. Stephen Lawrence overran the play. Took down Broberg. Four-player pile up on the far corner. Puck jostled free. Nurse up the wall. Mikkola desperate after Connor Brown. Reverse back to Broberg. And it's whistled through the middle. Beautiful one-touch. It's Henrique. A breakaway. A backhander denied. Save made by Bobrovsky. Beautiful one-touch pass to Adam Henrique, but Bobrovsky, for a third time tonight, comes up with a spectacular save. Mikkola up the right-hand side to Montour. Bobrovsky hearing it from the 19,000 plus as the Panthers shovel it in deep. 5:15 to go in the first period. Edmonton certainly has had its chances, Bob. The Oilers have outshot the Panthers 9-3. McDavid nearly tripped up and was tripped up. Penalty coming against Florida. Now Edmonton, on the strength and momentum of that last shift, able to generate a call. McDavid tripped up. Paul Maurice frustrated. Panthers shorthanded for the first time tonight. And Edmonton's vaunted power play, which finished the Dallas series going 4 for its last 5, will get a look. Forsling, 2 minutes for tripping. We'll come right back. Emirates Bank Arena, the site of the Stanley Cup Final. Game 1, Panthers 1, Edmonton no score. Oilers will look to tie it on the Atco Energy Power Play. This is Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers.
When you play the largest 50-50 in sports, everybody wins. Your support makes all of oil country a better place. A place of kindness, caring, and compassion. Uplifting those in need, changing lives forever. The largest 50-50 pot in professional sports is currently growing by the second. Get your tickets now at EdmontonOilers.com and help change lives today. Maybe even your own.
AGLC license number 645766. Even though your 20s are behind you, you still get to have firsts. Like the first time your knee hurts after a morning run. Or the first time you felt certain muscles after a workout. Whatever your pain, Advil Liquid Gels are here for these firsts. Advil Liquid Gels provide liquid fast relief for everyday aches and pains, so you can get back to your everyday active life where firsts still happen. When pain says you can't, Advil says you can. Proud partner of the Edmonton Oilers.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Face off right side of Bobrovsky. A beautiful breakup to start the shorthanded situation by Luostarinen. And if there's ever a team, Bob, in Edmonton's class penalty killing wise, it would be Florida. The Panthers have killed 32 of the last 34 they've faced. Here comes McDavid. The Oiler power play well over 30% of this postseason. Draisaitl, top of the right circle. McDavid tried to stuff it in front for Hyman. Nugent Hopkins and Bouchard, of course, the other members of this Atco Energy power play unit. 37% in the postseason. Here's Bouchard waiting, dishing. Draisaitl shooting. Redirected off the pads and kicked out in the high slot. Florida didn't get it clear. Draisaitl cuts to the net. Poke checked away by Bobrovsky and slapped down the ice by Kevin Stenlund. Handled by Stuart Skinner and a reset for Evan Bouchard as we come up on 4 minutes to play in this first period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. Oh, beautiful look. Nugent Hopkins breakaway. Backhander denied. Sergei Bobrovsky. That is 4 point-blank looks that Edmonton has been stopped on in this first period. And the crowd loves it. Nugent Hopkins off a beautiful feed, a backhander and a splayed out. Sergei Bobrovsky robbed him with leather and pad.
2 dekes, Jack. 2 dekes on this ice. Shoot the puck. Slow ice, gotta shoot. You're moving with speed. Shoot it. What a pass by Leon.
No surprise. Best passer in the game. Edmonton still with a healthy 53 seconds on the penalty to Forsling for tripping. And now it looks like Draisaitl will be chased out of the face-off circle, replaced by Connor McDavid. Edmonton in the white, Florida in the red. We're live in our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth here atop Amarin Arena. Off the draw, beautiful look. Draisaitl in front. Bumped off was McDavid. A backhand wraparound save Bobrovsky. Draisaitl, a big windup, no shot. Back to McDavid. Snapped it across, deflected away. Handled by Draisaitl. Nugent Hopkins in the corner. Beautiful saucer to Draisaitl, who somehow maintained the zone. That was a tough pass, and Draisaitl harassed enough by Barkov, and it's coughed up the center. Bouchard swiftly ahead for Nugent Hopkins. Back across the line. Draisaitl smacked it over to McDavid, but it was off target, and now Edmonton must reload. 15 seconds left in the man advantage. McDavid dialing it up through the neutral zone. He'll try to beat the Panthers by himself. Doesn't happen. Stenley, the steal, and the length of the ice clear, and the Oiler power play dies. 3 minutes to play in the first period. Crowd roars its approval. Edmonton has played a terrific first period, out shooting Florida 11-3, but trails 1-0. Carter Verhaeghe scoring 3:59 into the game. Oilers dump it in. Kulikov tries the left-hand side. The puck does not exit. And grabbed by Sam Bennett. The Oilers, with a Game 1 victory in a best-of-7 series, have a record of 23-3 in those series, and they've won a pair of Game 1s in this postseason run. Sam Bennett in across the line, stripped by Corey Perry, who forces it back to center. Forsling fresh out of the box, rifles it back into the Edmonton zone, and I believe an offside will be whistled against Florida on the far boards. And Matthew Tkachuk squeezing that hand a little bit. He might have been the guilty party. 2:28 to go in the first period. 1-0 Florida. What do you make of what we've seen thus far in the first 17 and a half?
Well, Edmonton's had a great period. They've got 4 A-grade scoring opportunities in this game, and normally you convert a couple of those, and 2 stone-cold breakaways. Henrique and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Bobrovsky has been fantastic right from the opening shift of the game.
And then 2 other point-blank looks off turnovers where it almost feels like a breakaway because Bobrovsky had no support. Off the draw through the neutral zone, here's Vladimir Tarasenko. Denied entry by Philip Broberg. Tarasenko, 3 goals in the playoffs. Again, a central figure on all those St. Louis contenders. Luo Sturinen tied up in the corner, still battling with Philip Broberg. He'll swing it around the boards. Tarasenko getting worked over by Kulak. Janmark came down low and took the stick away from Tarasenko. Brought back in by Lundell. Had it and lost it in the corner. Battling for it is Adam Henrique. 12 years after his last Stanley Cup final appearance as a rookie with the New Jersey Devils. Here's Reinhart out to Ekblad. Flipped it down low, taken off the boards by Lundell, but well defended by Broberg. Out to the point, Forsling. Now Lundell. He'll give it up in the corner. Coming free is Sam Reinhart. A shot off the blocker of Stuart Skinner. That was a tough save. High riser from Reinhart. Verhaeghe down low to Lundell. Out to the point, Aaron Ekblad. Quick snapshot, sailed wide of Stuart Skinner. After it and controlling down low, wrapping up his Forsling and Verhaeghe to keep Edmonton clogged up. Broberg breaks away against Barkov, who finishes his check in the corner, even as the puck exits the zone. Reinhart with a minute to go in the first period, up to Verhaeghe. He'll tip it in for Sasha Barkov. who had the primary assist on the only goal of this hockey game, scored by Verhaeghe. He's locked up with Kulak, freed it up for Foegele, and here come the Oilers, left to right. It's off to Cody Ceci from Leon Draisaitl. Sent down low, Brandon Montour turned it over, centering pass, and Draisaitl missed the net. What a setup from Holloway off a dreadful turnover from Montour, and Edmonton now 5 times with point-blank looks on Bobrovsky, and they have not converted. Puck ends up out of play with 34 seconds to go in the period, and Florida still up 1-0. Just an awful giveaway, and Bobrovsky did get a piece of that one as well.
Well, the Oilers exert some pressure, forechecking, and Holloway right in front. Leon got robbed. Tried to go short side, and I think Bobrovsky threw his blocker out at it. Oilers load up McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman here, final 34 seconds.
And Draisaitl won the faceoff cleanly against Evan Rodriguez, but we're going to do it again. Yeah, that puck appeared to be headed wide. They're going to give Bobrovsky credit for a save, his 12th of the period. He's been the difference in this first period. Edmonton could be up 2. Off the draw, Hyman battles through a couple of checks, serves it up for Draisaitl in the corner. Here's a one-timer by Ekholm, and it was speared by Bobrovsky somehow through the traffic against Zach Hyman, and Tkachuk trying to get at Hyman and drag him out of there. Zach Hyman, 28 goals in his 46 playoff games as an Oiler. He got belted, and the helmet popped off.
Well, they ripped the helmet off.
That used to be an automatic in the regular season.
Should be an automatic penalty. I have a feeling we're going to get a Mary Kay call. They ripped 2 helmets off there. They pointed like there's going to be a penalty.
Bobrovsky able to find the puck through a screen. And once again, Bob, Edmonton winning some battles in the Florida zone to generate second and third chances. The Panthers have been a little bit jittery.
Let's say Florida's lucky there wasn't a penalty in that. I mean, you got 2 separate Oilers players with their helmet ripped off. Yep, it's playoffs, right? I mean, that's not a, you don't, certainly in the past, it definitely wouldn't have been a call, but
24 seconds left. Draisaitl out there with McDavid and Hyman. Ekholm and Bouchard. Once again, Edmonton loading up here. Off the draw, Forsling. Darren Ekblad. He'll send it up the right-hand side and backhanded down low by Barkov. I don't think that's far enough for icing, and it's waved off. Bouchard and Ekholm taken hard against the boards, and now we are going to have a penalty for a high stick. Bouchard had a stick run up into his grill, and Florida penalized for a second time in this first period. There'll be a carryover, and I think it's going to be Carter Verhaeghe trudging to the box.
Florida, minor penalty, 23, high stick.
So a high stick on Verhaeghe. Now, Edmonton has outscored its opponents 20-3 on special teams in this postseason, and a no-doubter from Verhaeghe.
Now, here's what happens with 8 seconds left. You get the puck to the net if you win a face-off. You're not sitting there worrying about executing 5 or 6 passes. You get a chance, get it to the goal, like they scored against Florida a couple of years ago at home.
Reinhart against Draisaitl, and that forced overtime. They wanted an OT. Here's a quick snapshot at the feet, and Bobrovsky able to make the save. And once again, you saw Ekblad engage with Nugent Hopkins several times in this first period. Aaron Ekblad has not gotten the puck out, and Bobrovsky has had to bail him out.
That was, frankly, a lucky save by Bobrovsky. That puck hit him.
Smart by Draisaitl to just throw it into his feet. And now he wins a clean face-off. Slapper by Bouchard. Blocked. A second one blocked. A third time, Nugent Hopkins fires at the horn. And it will sound with the Panthers somehow keeping the Oilers off the scoreboard. And there's one reason. And his name is Sergei Bobrovsky, 35 years of age, wearing the number 72 on his back. But there might have been an S on the front of the sweater, Bob. He was spectacular in that first period. The Oilers, not much to quibble with. They give up the 3-on-2. Maybe didn't play it as well as they would have liked, but outside of that, not too many mistakes. Sergei Bobrovsky, the story, and now Edmonton with a fresh sheet of ice and nearly a full power play to start period 2.
No question. One blown coverage off a 3-on-2, a sequence that Connor McDavid would like to have back, and then there was a misread on Hyman on who the overload was going to come, and Verhaeghe was far too open. And, in fairness, Barkov made a great pass, and they made 3 good plays to execute the goal. But if you're Edmonton, you've done a real good job negating the amount of scoring chances off of rushes, and that did not come to fruition in that sequence. The rest of the period was all Edmonton's. I mean, you're 14-4 out shooting them. The A-grade scoring on opportunities in this game, all different play types in the game, 5v5, the 2 power. It is, you ready for this? It is 6-1 for Edmonton in this game.
That was going to be my guess.
And they have scored on their one off the rush. So a little bit too easy of a goal. And right now, Bobrovsky looks like he's locked in. Got to get some traffic in front of him. And got to capitalize with the early power play in period number 2.
Yeah, and a fresh sheet of ice to boot. Bob, the other thing I'd say is we talked about it strength on strength early on. Of course, the goal going Florida's way. But from that point on, I especially thought Edmonton was able to get to the pairing of Forsling and Ekblad. That bodes well for the rest of the series, does it not?
Yeah, it does. I mean, we know Florida can play a lot better than what we saw. I think Florida might have been surprised with the speed and tempo that Edmonton played at in that first period. The Oilers looked like the significantly better team, faster team, 5-on-5. And they were able to, it wasn't like they chipped and dumped pucks into the corners and went out. They took those guys wide. They created some opportunities. Forsling got the corkscrew in on McDavid on the one penalty. Little bit of an undisciplined play for Verhaeghe late in the period. Right after, you can make an argument there should have been a call for roughing right in front of the goal. They didn't call it, so Verhaeghe gets a stick up and gives the officials an easy one to call. Edmonton needs to start the power play effectively in period number 2, but I would say to you, Jack, I know Edmonton's down 1-0. That was a pretty good period from the Oilers. It's a little bit unfortunate they're down in this game.
Yeah, much different, of course, than Game 6 against Dallas, of course, where the Oilers were out-attempted in that game. I believe 74-24 and 34-10 were the final shots on net. Stuart Skinner, the primary reason that the Oilers were not on a plane last Monday, heading down to Dallas for a Game 7 instead of being able to reload for a couple of days at home before making their way down to Florida on Thursday afternoon in anticipation of the Stanley Cup Final opener. Best of 7 series for the Grand Chalice, and for the Oilers, would be their first cup in 34 years. For the Florida Panthers, it would be their first cup ever, having come into the league for the 1993-94 season, and they've racked up 25 wins over the last 2 years. Their first 28 years of existence, they had those same 25 wins. So Florida new to the party. Edmonton's been around it. Of course, Florida's been around it recently, and 2 of the very best you could hope for in a Stanley Cup Final collide in Game 1, with Florida having taken a 1-0 lead on Carter Verhaeghe's 10th of the postseason. Reed and Rob are next. This is the Stanley Cup Final, live from Amerant Bank Arena in Sunrise, Florida. The Oilers Radio Network.
Athletes know that to advance your career, you've got to be part of a winning team. So, what about you? Are you working for a winning team? Well, here's your chance to do just that. Brandt is a strong and stable industry leader with career opportunities across Canada. We have hundreds of positions available right now, from parts, sales, positioning technology, heavy-duty mechanics, and more. Be a part of a winning team. Earn your stripes by joining Brandt today. Find out more at BrandtJobs.com.
It's our YEG with 630 Chad.
Hold on, Ched listeners. The iconic Sarah McLachlan is celebrating the 30th anniversary of her Bumbling Towards Ecstasy album with a return to Rogers Place on November 16th. Enter to win your way in at 630ched.com. Then discover Edmonton's diverse culinary scene in the heart of downtown as Taste of Edmonton returns to Sir Winston Churchill Square July 18th through the 28th. Tickets at tasteofedm.ca.
For details on these and more events, visit 630ched.com. At the intermission, brought to you by Hand of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
For Evan Bouchard, as we come up on 4 minutes to play in this first period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. Oh, beautiful look. Nugent Hopkins breakaway. Backhander. Denied. Sergei Bobrovsky. That is 4 point-blank looks that Edmonton has been stopped on in this first period.
Well, Sergei Bobrovsky, the story of that period, he stops 2 breakaways
One by Adam Henrique, and then less than 2 minutes later, that one by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. That's the highlight zone for Century Casinos. All in, all games, all season. Century Casinos, 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton International Airport. Welcome to the Winter Zone. Carter Verhaeghe scored on the Panthers' first shot of the game, a 3-on-2, 3:59 into the period. Rob Brown, Edmonton, though, dominant, out shooting the Panthers 14-4, 6 or 7 grade A chances, depending on which count you're going by. But Bobrovsky, the story early.
Hey, he was, and we talked before this series started that Bobrovsky is an elite goaltender that is having an elite playoff. The reason the Florida Panthers, one of the big reasons they're here in the finals, has been the play of their goaltender. And in the first period, we saw why. You know, the Oilers got grade A chance, and it wasn't on the backs of their third or fourth liners. You know, you look, McDavid in by himself, Nugent-Hopkins breakaway, Henrique breakaway, Leon wide open in front of the net by himself, Hyman less than 20 seconds into the game by himself in front of the net. So the Oilers' best players have all had a really good look. And I think that, I know that we're listening to the TV and Craig Simpson's talking about you can't beat them down low. And we've seen that. Look for the Oilers to adjust as they go forward and start shooting up high, because Bobrovsky, side to side, is as good as any in the National Hockey League and needed to be in that first period, because that is as good a first period as the Oilers have had in the playoffs. They were excellent. The only thing they weren't able to do is execute, putting the puck behind the net, but a good start for the Stanley Cup playoffs for the Edmonton Oilers.
What happened on the Florida goal, Rob?
Connor McDavid got caught in deep. You saw him. He was expecting or hoping that the puck would pop free. He got below Barkov on the wrong side, and then when the puck got turned up ice, he's chasing, and it's a 3-on-2, and McDavid, his man was got free. So the Florida Panthers have high-end skill, and if they get an opportunity, they're able to capitalize, and that was the Barkov line, their best line, capitalizing on it. And it was a small mistake. It wasn't a huge blunder, but just being on the wrong side defensively allowed the Florida Panthers a break, and they took full advantage of it. Hey, the one thing I want to talk about, Reed, the thing I don't understand about the National Hockey League, and this is one of the things that bugs me the most. I know the penalty on Ekholm is probably a trip, but if the Oilers don't get possession of it on the trip, they probably don't call it, or I hope they wouldn't. But they call that penalty, but they don't call, Henrique, that was a hit from behind, and he cut Ekman-Larsson open.
Yep.
A little bit later, the Florida Panthers are on the power play, and a Panther runs, I don't know which Panther it was, runs McLeod face first into the boards, hit from behind. I don't understand how they don't call those, yet they'll call a little teeny trip. To me, that bugs me if I'm a player. If I got my head run face first in the boards, I would expect that to be called more so than the little trip. And I think that's why Ekholm was a little upset too. He goes, come on now. I touched his feet and you call that, but you don't call the other one. So that's one thing I think the NHL has to do a better job at.
Well, and I'm watching the game here with Mooner, and Mooner looked at me as soon as Henrique delivered that hit, and he was like, oh, I think that's a penalty. You're right. So that can be a little frustrating. And the Oilers will have, what are we going to have here, a minute 52 on a power play to start the second period. And the power play, it was dangerous. The Nugent-Hopkins breakaway was on a power play, Rob, but they had a couple other good looks in the puck around the net.
They had a lot of great looks. The power play is always dangerous, and they just put the Panthers under stress, and the Panthers had 2 or 3 times where they could have got the puck out and didn't. And that gives the Oilers second and third chances. What we saw in the last series is teams don't want McDavid carrying the puck up on the power play, because when he does, it's 100% automatic. They're setting up. So what they try to do is they try to have someone swing. When they swing, and this is what the Oilers adapted against the Dallas Stars, where they got a break, where the Nugent-Hopkins scored his goal in that series on the power play. Okay, if you're going to take forward and move him up higher and take away Connor, well, that just makes your blue line stand that much more porous. And on that one right there, Nugent-Hopkins with speed, there's way more room to come through with speed, and they caught the Florida Panthers flat-footed. And a great job by Leon spotting it. Nice by Nugent-Hopkins getting into the open. You just hope that one of those will find the back of the net. But the Florida Panthers are a physical team. They play a little bit nasty. They're going to get penalties because of their physicality. They can't take dumb penalties, needless penalties. And the one that they took at the end of the period, there's 8 seconds to go in the period. The Oilers were not going to get anything going offensively. And they just took a penalty that's now given the Oilers a fresh ice with a well-rested group. And you're going to have almost a minute 52 on the power play to tie this game up. So that penalty could come back and haunt the Florida Panthers going forward.
Shots have been adjusted, but still greatly in favor of the Oilers. 13-4 after the first period, but Carter Verhaeghe with the goal from Barkov and Reinhart. So 1-0 after the Panthers after period 1 of game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Blue collar work deserves big dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit heavymetalequipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you move the earth.
From your home to the ice rink, ATCO Energy is there. As the official energy provider of Rogers Place, we're also proud partners of the Edmonton Oilers. ATCO Energy, powering your place. Customers are free to purchase natural gas services or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822.
Straining to find the right home? You're going to love this. For a limited time, get back in the game with a free Oiler Fan Cave basement by Coventry Homes. This playoff package includes a free basement, plus an exclusive Oiler Fan Cave, complete with their signature customizable designs and top shelf finishes at no additional cost. Because flexibility is within reach. Coventry Homes, the official builder of the Edmonton Oilers.
With Global News, I'm Thomas Dias. As you've been hearing, the Oilers and Panthers are getting reacquainted in Florida in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Global's Eric Bay spoke with these fans here in the Ice District ahead of the game.
We're so excited. They better win. I don't even know what I would do if they won. If they lost, you mean? No, if they won. If they won the Stanley Cup Final and they had it in their hands, I don't know what I would do.
So are you letting yourself think that that's a chance yet? Or?
Oh, it definitely is a chance. It's not a chance.
No, yeah. So
it's not a chance.
Feeling pretty confident?
Last time they were in the Stanley Cup Finals, 2006, right? This year's the year. I could feel it. Feel it. They're winning this year.
You guys around for 2006?
Yeah, we're on the energy was there, but now this is here. Now we're here.
All right. So do you guys have a game prediction tonight and then a series prediction?
2-4 tonight for Oilers. I say 3-2 Oilers. I think 2-1 Oilers. I think it's going to be a close game. And I'm going to say Oilers in 4 for series prediction. 6. Oilers definitely winning.
Premier Daniel Smith has proposed to Florida's governor that they make a bet involving some fine Alberta-made whiskey versus some of Florida's finest rum. News on demand at 630ched.com.
Ready to score big on your outdoor space? It's game time with Park Landscaping. Transform your backyard into a winning arena with Park Landscaping's expert team. From design to maintenance of lush lawns and state-of-the-art synthetic turf to inviting pools and captivating water features, Park Landscaping will make your outdoor space the MVP. Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in the game with Park Landscaping. Call 780-486-2744 today or email info@parklandscaping.ca.
Honey, I overloaded the washing machine and there's a mini waterfall pouring through the basement roof.
We'll fix it. Don't worry, babe.
And I might have horribly shrunk your lucky jersey.
Oh!
Life happens. Access Insurance can help. The save of the game is brought to you by Access Insurance. When Albertans need it most, they know they can count on the Access Insurance team for a huge save. It's easy to switch and save. Check out their Google reviews.
Visit AccessInsuranceGroup.com.
Discover the epitome of elegance at Alberta Diamond Exchange, dedicated to crafting unforgettable moments with exquisite jewelry collections for over 2 decades. From stunning engagement rings to timeless wedding bands and anniversary treasures, the Alberta Diamond Exchange commitment extends far beyond I do. Your journey with Alberta Diamond Exchange is not just about jewelry, it's about an unparalleled experience. Check out the Aspen Glen Landing Boutique in Southwest Calgary, and for more information, head to avdiamond.ca today.
At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Okay, let's check the scoreboard for Pizza 73, official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Elks opened their season with a loss. They were looking good. They led the Riders 21-8 in the fourth quarter. Did nothing right after that. And the Riders won the game 29-21. So Elks 0-1 out of the gate. They're going to host Montreal on Friday. Baseball today. What an outing by Blue Jays pitcher Kevin Gausman. A complete game. Gave up 5 hits, 1 walk, struck out 10 as the Blue Jays beat the Oakland A's 7-0. All right, Carter Verhaeghe, the only goal of the first period. The Oilers will have a minute 52 here on the power play to start the second period. Panthers leading the Oilers 1-0 heading to period 2. Jack and Bob will tell the tale for Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
Pizza 73, the official pizza of your Edmonton Oilers.
To the oil, in Edmonton we trust. Rising to the top like a pizza crust. Down to the crunch, got the flavors to play. The city of champs, going all the way. Let's go Oilers, E-Town unite. Ice District to Jasper, downtown to White. Wearing orange and blue, game on the screen. Make the right call, Pizza 73. Let's go Oilers!
737373, Pizza 73.
Look, I know this is radio, so it's hard to show you how much is on sale during the Big One clearance event at End of the Row Flooring Centers, but it's a lot. Like this flooring, or this one, and all these. Yep, all at clearance pricing for a limited time. Now, you don't need to just imagine what it would look like, though. You can use our visualizer at endoftheroll.com to upload a picture of your room to see the flooring in your actual home. Try it. Find something you love, then get a great deal on it at the Big One clearance event on now at End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Until June 8th, make the shift to more savings at Fountain Tire and get up to $200 off a set of 4 select tires, plus a bonus $50 off any service of $150 or more. Restrictions apply. Financing available. Book online today. I can tell by the look on your face you're thinking about it.
All games, all season. You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
We're live with Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Florida Panthers won. The Edmonton Oilers no score, but the Oil on the power play looking to tie it. Carter Verhaeghe with the only first period goal from Reinhart and Barkov at 3:59. Edmonton outshot Florida 14-4. Had 6 glorious looks, but Sergei Bobrovsky stopped them all. Now he prepares to stare down an Atco Energy power play. Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman, and Bouchard to start this second period. It's Game 1 of the best of 7 Stanley Cup Final to decide the National Hockey League's best this season. Second period underway. Draisaitl wins the face-off, and here's Bouchard right to left. He'll whistle a pass up to Nugent Hopkins, chip it ahead, and it's carefully guided into the corner by Bobrovsky. Handled by Bouchard, coughed it up, and fired down the right-hand side by Aaron Ekblad. He went first in 2014, then followed by Sam Reinhart, who went to Buffalo, has ended up in Florida. Number 3, of course, was Leon Draisaitl, and number 4, Sam Bennett, who spent several years in Calgary, his 3rd in Florida. Bouchard, top of the right circle, it's McDavid. Back to Bouchard in the high slot, Ryan Nugent Hopkins. Power play at a minute 10. Bouchard, high slot, Nugent Hopkins left circle. Waiting. Serving it up, McDavid wide open in front, and a backhander flipped over the net by Zach Hyman. He had Bobrovsky deked, but missed an open net. Nugent Hopkins down low again. Hyman tries a shot, swallowed up, chance for a clear. Ekblad unable to reverse, and it's Draisaitl hard up the boards to McDavid, who failed to hold the zone, and Edmonton has to come back. Bob, to my way of thinking, Hyman had Bobrovsky down and out, just missed an open net. Yep. Here's McDavid, had it swatted off his skates. Ekblad, another poor play, but Stenlund bails him out, firing it up the middle, and Aaron Ekblad right now is in slow motion. He's got to get it going for Florida. He's one of the Panthers' top defensemen.
I think the Oilers' speed has maybe surprised Florida a bit here, but Edmonton hasn't been able to convert on some glorious scoring opportunities.
Bouchard to McDavid, over to Leon Draisaitl, top of the right circle against Stenlund, and now Bouchard just inside the blue line. Tipped by Stenlund, backhanded down the ice, and that'll do it for the Oiler power play. Bob, does the 6-day layoff perhaps affect that finishing polish that Edmonton had brewing?
Especially given they were 4 or 5 the 2 previous games. We got to shoot pucks to the net. They didn't do that.
Here's to CC, back to 5-on-5. Bobrovsky sent it up the window, and now Carter Verhaeghe looking to make a play at center. But it's Evander Kane freeing it up for Corey Perry, who's returned to the Stanley Cup Final for a 4th time in the last 5 years. He lost the prior 3, Dallas, Montreal, and Tampa. He lost them all. Now he's hungry for another chop of the puck. Pops loose, and Rodriguez scores high glove on Stuart Skinner. The Panthers get a bounce on an innocuous-looking play. Verhaeghe through the neutral zone, eventually freed it up. Rodriguez, after CC finished his check, Edmonton seemingly went to sleep, but it was poked in front brilliantly, and that's excellent work by, you guessed it, Sam Bennett.
Well, basically, Bennett was fenced off on the play by Cody Ceci. The Oilers had 3 players right in front of the net. Darnell Nurse couldn't knock the puck down, and Rodriguez had an open look. And the A-grade scoring opportunities in this game are 8-2 for Florida, and they've scored on both chances.
Rodriguez is 4th from Bennett, and that's a play, Bob, where the Oilers felt like, all right, well, Ceci's going to take care of Bennett, and no one picked up anyone else. Off the forecheck, Stenlund thunders in. Adam Henrique breaks loose. 2-0 Florida. And a tip puck by Kulikov climbs over the short glass.
Florida
Sam Bennett, I'll tell you what, he's a modern-day Claude Lemieux. Regular season, but in the postseason, he shows up, Bob. He's got 53 points in 78 games.
Well, he's played great against Edmonton over the years. Even when he was in Calgary, you knew he was going to be one of the guys that would make plays. And for the Edmonton Oilers, you know, they lose momentum coming out of that power play, Jack, and then you give up that goal. And right now, the way Bobrovsky's locked in, and he is locked in, you wonder whether or not it's starting to get to the Oilers a little bit here. They've had multiple great looks in front, and he's had all...
Frustration-wise?
Well,
we haven't seen it yet.
Yep.
They've been dogged. Sent in deep by Rodriguez off the neutral zone draw. Evan Rodriguez is 4th of the postseason. Sam Bennett, a simple chip and charge, and he converts. Draisaitl threw it across. One-timer off the rush, and a save made Bobrovsky, and then flailing at the rebound against Evan Bouchard. Bobrovsky continues to shine. Here's Matthias Ekholm, left circle. The drop-off. It's going to be Draisaitl, drag move, Bouchard to the net with a backhand. Elects not to shoot, spins back top of the circle. Now loading up, not shooting at Ekholm, trying to wrist shot and a painful block. That one, Rodriguez stung, but he'll try to labor off the ice. He is really struggling. Ekholm, meanwhile, one touch. Janmark gets it back, point blank in front, and that went off a skate just wide. Adam Henrique in the vicinity. Now it's Kulak to Connor Brown. Edmonton relentless here, not showing any evidence of frustration. Luostarinen is able to softly wedge it back to center, batted down by Broberg and handled by Skinner behind the net. Skinner's given up 2 goals on 5 shots, while Florida has repeatedly frustrated Edmonton with the goaltending of Sergei Bobrovsky. Sent in deep by Luostarinen, and the Oilers on a reload up the left-hand side. Matthias Janmark, one-timer smoked on net by Broberg, and that was kicked out by Bobrovsky. Now you've got Janmark working against Kulikov down low, coming over. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, puck bounces around. Kulikov nudged it ahead for Carter Verhaeghe, Verhaeghe, and his second effort musters a clear back through the middle. Matthias Ekholm with 4.5 gone by in this second period. And Edmonton trailing 2-0. It's Ekholm to Connor McDavid over the line left wing. Hits Bouchard. Open a shot and a save. Bobrovsky. Rebound Sam Reinhart. He'll kick it free. Verhaeghe. Again, Edmonton winning this top line battle when it comes to territorial advantage. Reinhart through one man. Tried to center and McDavid got back to make the steal intended for Verhaeghe, who nearly chopped him down. McDavid to Zach Hyman, back to McDavid. Around the boards, Nugent Hopkins looking for McDavid. The puck slips free, and now it's Carter Verhaeghe, and the Panthers have a 3-on-2 brewing. It's Verhaeghe from Montour, a shot, and that was blocked by Cody Ceci. And now the Oilers will have numbers coming the other way, right to left. Hyman to Darnell Nurse, centered off the glass. That was close to going out of play. It's forced to the far corner. Opozo in the vicinity, and a centering pass comes in that's swiped and cleared by Kevin Stenlund with 5.5 gone by in this second period. Tossed back in by Darnell Nurse. Bobrovsky up the boards, cut off by Corey Perry. He's sandwiched along the end boards. Trying to rake it free was McLeod. He did so, and now Ceci is loose. He fires deliberately off the boards. Stenlund has his stick held by Corey Perry. There was no call. Warren Fogle continues. Dogged forechecking ability. Out to the point. Ripped by Ceci into a crowd, and that might have hit Corey Perry. It might have gone in, but it hit Corey Perry. Now a centering pass. McLeod, his shot in the high slot, tipped away and out of play with 14 minutes to go in the second period. Bob, at live speed, it looked like that shot slipped through Bobrovsky, but hit Corey Perry standing in the blue paint.
Well, the Oilers are really pushing here, and they're getting lots of looks. And right now, Bobrovsky made an unbelievable save on a rebound off of Evan Bouchard. As the Oilers, Dylan Holloway shot the puck. Bouchard picks the puck out of the air, and Bobrovsky finds the rebound. And then, as you said, towards late in the shift, the Oilers get the McLeod-Fogle-Perry line out, and they create an awesome look. And I think that puck hit Corey Perry, might have been going in the goal.
Draisaitl out there with Kane and Holloway, but off the face-off, it's carried up ice by Matthew Tkachuk. Panthers lead it 2-0. Simple forecheck. Sam Bennett, the flip in front for Rodriguez for the game's second goal. Barkov to Verhaeghe in the first period for the opener. Now driving toward the net with a wrist shot and a save made on Sam Bennett by Stuart Skinner. Bennett's career high is 49 points, but again in the playoffs, 53 in 78 games. So in other words, he's never better at any point in his career than he is in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
He's a gamer.
Skinner to handle the puck up the right-hand side. Barkov tried to center. Draisaitl booted it around. Now Tkachuk calling for the puck. Drag move in front by Lundell. He was stripped by Dylan Holloway, who pokes it brilliantly towards center, but was stifled by Aaron Ekblad. Carried back the other way by Lundell. He'll drop it off. The trailer is Ekblad. One-timer Tarasenko blocked. A backhander, a save Skinner, and a second stop. Stuart Skinner with his best save of the night on Tarasenko. And the puck lying underneath the prone Vladimir Tarasenko. Now in his 13th season, and he was cut down. Tarasenko stopped by Skinner. Bob, safe to say Skinner's best work of the night. 12:57 to play in the second period. That Florida flurry does not result in a goal. But Verhaeghe in the first and Rodriguez in the second. And it's the Panthers with a 2-0 lead in game one. 7 minutes gone by, second period. This is the Stanley Cup Final live from Florida. The Oilers Radio Network.
There's only one line of trucks that's outsold all others for 58 years. Only one with the available Power Boost hybrid engine on select models that delivers performance and efficiency. It's the truck that all others are measured by. You know the one. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Right now, lease the 2024 F-150 STX with black appearance package at 2.49% APR for up to 24 months with $4,800 down. That's just $228 bi-weekly. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian, Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
When the Oilers are on the ice, the big hits are a part of the game. But they shouldn't be a part of your drive. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown & Associates and their over 200 years of combined injury law experience help you. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown & Associates is ready to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
Face off to Skinner's left. Florida an offensive zone draw here. The Panthers with a 2-0 lead in game one of this best-of-7 Stanley Cup final. Off the draw, here's a high slot maneuver by Dmitry Kulikov around Connor Brown, cutting behind the Oiler net, spinning and shooting into a crowd, and that was deflected out toward the point and punched forward by Janmark, held up by Ekman Larsson, and now Kulikov handles a pass for Kyle Opozo, advances through center and snaps it in deep. Game two will be back here in Florida on Monday night. We'll have it for you 8:20. Opozo set up by Stenlund, and he's shot wide from between the circles. Rebound, Stenlund on his backhand, protecting, waiting, serving it up for Forsling, who rifles it into the waiting glove of Stuart Skinner, who comes in 16-11 career in the postseason, and his best series was against Dallas in the prior round, 2-0 lifetime against Florida. Both wins coming last year.
Got a shift here. The lines.
That shift of lines includes Perry being reunited with Leon Draisaitl. So it's Perry, Holloway, and Draisaitl for this shift, and a face-off to Skinner's left. Kulak and Broberg still defensively. Sam Reinhart will take the draw for the Florida Panthers, who lead this game 2-0 with 12:18 to go in the second. Off the draw, Montour shot wide. Rebound, Niko Mikkola turned it over. And a second effort by Corey Perry forces it back through the middle. Perry hits Draisaitl left wing. Button hooking, centering for Kulak, driving behind the net after failing to get a wrist shot off. Out to the point. Set up neatly for Draisaitl. By Philip Broberg, who rushes over to offer support and then serves one to Kulak. His shot disappears into the leather of Sergei Bobrovsky as Mikkola had bodied up on Corey Perry and pushed him behind the Florida goaltender. So without the frontage, Bobrovsky an easy save.
I think Edmonton should have maybe taken the puck to the net a little bit earlier.
Well, Kulak, I thought Bob was fighting it a little bit, and we don't know what the ice looks like down there.
Which is why we talked about shooting the puck on breakaways. We don't know what the ice is like. Is it heavy? Is it sticky? Probably won't be as good as Edmonton, which has got next to Montreal, maybe the best ice in the NHL.
11:49 to go, second period. Games 3 and 4 of the Stanley Cup Final will be played in Edmonton next Thursday and Saturday, and we'll have both of them for you again 6 o'clock Mountain Time from Rogers Place. That's all that's been scheduled at this point, and a hand pass will be whistled against the Oilers off a face-off in the Florida zone. It was flipped down, and Edmonton gets nailed, so a puck drop right at center.
Ekholm's talking to Steve Kazari right now. He's saying that touched the Florida player. Should have been a live play.
30 years of the Florida Panthers and a trip to the Stanley Cup Final in just their third season. They were swept by the Colorado Avalanche, beaten in 5 games last year by Vegas. Tossed in by Ekblad off the neutral zone draw, and Florida was offside. 11:37 to go, second period. Panthers got here, beat Tampa in 5, Boston in 6, and the Rangers in 6. And similar to Edmonton, the Panthers won the last 3 games of that series. And the Oilers have closed in fine fashion, winning games 6 and 7 against Vancouver, 4, 5, and 6 against Dallas. They've been down 2-1 in both of the last series. Off the draw, Oilers drag it into the offensive zone. Zach Hyman operating against Bennett. Poked free. Bennett comes away with the puck, and it's the Panthers left to right. Matthew Tkachuk to Bennett. He'll knock it down low. Evan Bouchard on it, works it around the boards, intercepted by Tkachuk. A shot to save Skinner, rebound high in the air, snatched away by Nugent Hopkins, staying with it. Evan Rodriguez, who scored a few minutes ago in this second period to give Florida 2-0 lead. Nugent Hopkins lays it ahead for Evan Bouchard, right down the middle, and the Oilers bumped offside, and McDavid knows he was kind of thrust in there deliberately to create the offside. They had something brewing, Bob, with Bouchard steaming down the slot.
They did. McDavid got picked on the play by Sam Bennett, and Matthew Tkachuk has got great awareness. He knows who he's on and not on the ice with. Evander Kane got a piece of Matthew Tkachuk in the first period. They pivoted away from the Barkov matchup against McDavid for the shift, and Bennett and Tkachuk started engaging a bit more, and we saw Matthew Tkachuk rip off Connor McDavid's helmet in a scrum in the first period. Wow,
Then it just blasted McDavid. Just blasted him right offside. I mean, he just absolutely knocked him offside. Ryan McLeod able to win the face-off in the neutral zone against Lundell, and it's fired in by Nurse. Around the boards, taken by Nico Mikkola. Put it up the middle of the ice, and it's Luo Sturinin. Tarasenko rubbed out along the boards by Nurse. Ceci steamrolled behind the net by Lundell. Knocked off bounce. Tarasenko from one knee. Shot by Montour. Picked off by Darnell Nurse. Lead pass left wing. Hoisted in deep by Warren Foegele. High up on the plexi. Mikkola taken off the puck by Foegele. Excited to be back in the lineup. He's been good tonight thus far. Luo Sturinin, however, able to dig it out of the corner. Back towards center. Chiseled back in front of the Edmonton bench by Ceci. Stepping in onside Tarasenko. Trying to jitterbug his way through heavy traffic. Luo Sturinin. And he's simply pressured against the corner boards by Darnell Nurse. So played back behind the net for Lundell. Luo Sturinin trying to free himself up, but can't do it. And the puck slides to Nurse. He'll lay it off to Ceci up to the red line and dumping it in against Bobrovsky, who slides that into the corner. Hacked by Montour up the right-hand side, and it's Luo Sturinin. Bobrovsky winning those last three games, Bob, finally went over 500 for his playoff career. He's 41-40 entering tonight. Tossed up the left-hand side. We got a chance here. Janmark coming to the net. Denied by Bobrovsky. Doesn't know where the rebound is. And Connor Brown scores, but they're going to wave it off. They're going to wave it off. Connor Brown thought he had scored, but it was immediately waved off, and now the Panthers are angry at Brown for forcing that puck into the net. It was simply wedged off the boards. Janmark skated into it, and now Kulak firing away. Broberg strung out.
Janmark will fight Ekman-Larsson, you know that.
Enrique and Opozo, the two veterans, find one another. Janmark just popped Ekman-Larsson right in the face. Bobrovsky made the initial save. It was lodged underneath his right pad, and I believe frozen long enough probably to generate a whistle. Connor Brown forced it home, and then things got ugly. Brown thought he had scored, but Bobrovsky had it long enough. And the Panthers took exception.
Better be one each. So I'm assuming there's going to be one each way here.
Janmark's going off for Edmonton.
So
Florida penalty box door is swung open as well, and it looked like Ekman-Larsson might join his countrymen.
Well, the question is, Brown's in the box, and Janmark's in the box for Edmonton.
Well, Ekman-Larsson is going in, and now there's discussion as to what this looks like. Is there a second Panther to join?
Jack, I think Florida's going to get a power play here.
We'll find out on the other side. 9:36 to go in the second period. Oilers have outshot the Panthers 20-9, yet trail game one of the Stanley Cup Final 2-0. We're live in Sunrise with Ford Dealers NHL Hockey from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. The Oilers Radio Network.
Be a savvy Edmonton hotel shopper. Book through edmontonsbesthotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 50 member hotels to choose from offering their best value rates. edmontonsbesthotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
MIC is a leader in medical imaging and the official medical imaging provider to the Edmonton Oilers. Make MIC your choice. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, the game doesn't stop for injury. MIC.
Hey hockey fans, thank you for joining us once again here on Toronto Sports Insider for another NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs matchup. Thank you all for getting this chat fired up every single night. Keep up the good work, and cheers to every single one of you. Make sure you guys hit that like button, share out the link. The best way to get more fans into the chat and make this party even more crazy is to share it out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, however you do your social media. Much appreciated. Thank you all for being here once again. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and become an insider. And let's get back to the hockey. See you guys in the chat.
Book through Edmonton'sBestHotels.com and receive up to $225 in cash rewards. There are over 50 member hotels to choose from offering their best value rates. Edmonton'sBestHotels.com. Rewards with every booking.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app. This is the Oilers Radio Network.
No power plays on either side. Brown and Janmark for Edmonton. Stenlund and Ekman-Larsson for Florida. Those cancel one another out. Brown having kind of bowled over Bobrovsky. They're going to move the faceoff out to the neutral zone. Plus, Edmonton's D had come beneath the circles, obviously, to join what turned into a 5-on-5 wrestling match. And a puck will be dropped in the neutral zone. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer, welcoming you back inside Amerant Bank Arena. More than 19,500 crammed in to this facility to see if the Florida Panthers can start the Stanley Cup Final with a win. Last year, the Panthers lost the first two games, won Game 3 against Vegas, and then lost Game 4 in OT and were blown out in Game 5. Golden Knights having vanquished Edmonton along the way. Draisaitl, a little reverse pop on Sam Bennett to start this shift, and we've got a penalty coming, and this will be against Edmonton for interference.
Against Sam Bennett for interference, Jack, I think.
Well, Edmonton had the puck.
I think it's going to be a Florida penalty.
That's interesting because Edmonton had the puck. I don't know why they would have whistled it down.
Yep, you're right. But they did. Quick call there. Third power play.
That's odd. Sam Bennett will go in for interference. I don't know why they whistled it dead. Edmonton had the puck.
Well, you got to get one here if you're the Oilers. You're only going to get so many of these opportunities.
Well, they've gotten 3 power plays. Florida just won.
And Florida
face off to Bobrovsky's right.
I think Florida built some momentum off their last PK, too. They really negated any Oilers opportunities in the final 45 seconds.
So 9:22 to go in the second period, and the Oilers have outshot the Panthers 20-9. Look to convert this power play. Sam Reinhart won the faceoff but did not get it clear, and Evan Bouchard will walk the line. Florida's killed 34 of the last 36 opposing power plays. Nugent-Hopkins to Bouchard. Back to Nugent-Hopkins. Now McDavid, point blank, left circle. Shot, save, Bobrovsky. Rebound, Nugent-Hopkins. Over to Draisaitl. Bouchard fake the one-timer. Nugent-Hopkins, top of the circles. Wired one off the blocker of Bobrovsky, who falls backward. Draisaitl from McDavid. Top of the right circle. Bobrovsky has reset himself. McDavid feeds Bouchard at the point. He'll walk the line, look for a seam. Give it up to McDavid. Rocketing his way toward the net. Left circle, centering. Hyman unable to put it in. Bobrovsky had it, lost it. Barkov there, trying to clear. Denied by Draisaitl, who maintains calm and possession. Bouchard. Draisaitl got it back, fired, save Bobrovsky, rebound, and he got a piece of that Nugent-Hopkins shot. Great zone keep by Bouchard. Florida running around. Nugent-Hopkins loading up. Bouchard shooting, block shot, shoveled out. Sasha Barkov, length of the ice. Bobrovsky flailing about, but 22 saves on the night.
He's feeling it tonight, boy.
8 minutes to go, second period. Atco power play at 40 seconds. Oilers doing everything but scoring tonight. Here's McDavid back in, giving it up for Nugent-Hopkins. Sets up Bouchard, now opening. Bouchard, one-timer save, Bobrovsky. Rebound, Panthers, get it out. Not much on it, but Bouchard couldn't get over in time. Looks to hit McDavid, failed to do so. This will be icing against Edmonton. 17 seconds on the penalty to Sam Bennett. Sergei Bobrovsky having a massive night here in Game 1 of this Stanley Cup Final.
Well, the Oilers have had two really good power plays. The first and third power play in this game, they've created a lot of opportunities, just haven't been able to score.
I mean, quite frankly, the Oilers have had better chances than Dallas did in Game 6 when the Stars outshot the Oilers 34-10. This has been more lopsided in terms of the quality chances. You can honestly say Bobrovsky is solely responsible for this 2-0 Florida lead.
I mean, stopping two stone-cold breakaways, three other point-blank looks, lots of looks on the Oilers' power play.
Face-off win for Lundell. The Oilers probably want to get this top unit off here. Forsling jammed it down low. McDavid does indeed exit the ice surface, while Draisaitl will maintain. Couldn't get the line onside. It was poke check back to center, ripped back in by Nurse. Now Ryan McLeod with the Edmonton power play having come to an end. Sam Bennett's on the ice, has the puck at center ice on a high flip. He'll dish, get it back from Lundell, and then a swing and a miss. Evander Kane right through Rodriguez to Warren Fogle, who's been good tonight. McLeod back to Fogle. Tipped on net and a save. Bobrovsky in the rebound, cleared past Cody Ceci. The Oilers continue to pressure Sergei Bobrovsky, and he continues to respond. Another chance. Fogle shot denied. Set up by Evander Kane, and Bobrovsky came out to cut off the angle. He has been brilliant tonight. 6:53 to play in the second period. The Oilers have pelted him with 24 shots on net. And you can hear the crowd salute their goaltender.
Well, they're watching. I mean, this has been a snatch and grab tonight.
This has been...
Call Miami Vice. We've got thievery going on here.
I mean, I can't remember a game one of the final, a better goaltending performance in quite a long time. Now, it's interesting. The Panthers got here in '96 largely due to John Van Beesbrook. Well, Bobrovsky, on a team that's very well balanced but is getting outplayed badly tonight, is just putting on a show. Adam Henrique. Offensive zone face-off for the Oilers. He won it. Dylan Holloway against Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Sets up Broberg. His shot elevated up and out of play. 6:45 to go in the second period. I will say this, Bob, and I go back to a regular season game. I think it was in November in Winnipeg. Connor Hellebuck for 52 minutes was lights out. Edmonton was all over him, gave up a bad goal, I think, to Darnell Nurse, and then the Oilers got two more to win it outright in regulation. You just hope you keep testing Bobrovsky, and maybe he issues you a soft one.
The problem is Florida has a second goal. It's not a 1-0 game.
Correct.
It's a 1-0 game.
That is fair to say. Off the draw, whistled around the boards, no icing. Opozo comes in on the forecheck against Brett Kulak for Florida. Oilers with a puck. It's served up to Holloway. Rifles it long range. Adam Henrique will negate icing. Bobrovsky comes out to handle the puck and finds Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the right-hand side. He'll lift down the middle. A bouncing puck scooped up by Stephen Lawrence. Off to Kyle Opozo, and around the boards, you've got Alexander Barkov behind the net, protecting his Opozo for so many years out of the playoffs with the Buffalo Sabres. Now, in perhaps his final season, getting a shot with Florida. Oilers up the left-hand side. Hard to believe. Opozo now 17 years, and we got too many men coming. Too many men on the ice. 5:55 to go in the second period. Officials conferring. Steve Kazari has not made any official indication. But Florida, to my way of thinking,
I thought there was too many there.
I thought there was too, but I don't see any. The Florida penalty box door swung open. We'll take a break, sort it out, make sure there's no penalty issued on either side. 5:55 to play in the second period. Edmonton 24 shots, Florida just 9. But it's the Panthers with a 2-0 lead in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
Substitute.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers.
McDavid trying to come in with speed. Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores!
Hey, Edmonton, Rogers wants you to stay connected to your Edmonton Oilers.
Connor McDavid! Fantastic!
Catch every goal on Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network with Rogers 5G mobile plans. To learn more, visit rogers.com/5G. That's rogers.com/5G.
Did you know that there are 9 Napa Auto Parts stores serving the greater Edmonton area and have been doing so for more than 50 years? Since Napa first opened in Edmonton, the community has grown and vehicles have changed, but you can always trust Napa Auto Parts to provide you with the expert know-how and the best vehicle parts. And if that isn't enough, every time you visit a Napa Auto Parts store when you present your AMA card, you receive an additional 10% discount on all retail parts and accessories. Visit your local Napa Auto Parts store for more offers and expert know-how. Napa Auto Parts is a proud fan of the...
Hey, Insiders! Hey, you! Yeah, you! I'm talking to you, the one that hasn't subscribed yet. I know, there's like 70% of you guys that watch these games, listen to these games, and don't hit that subscribe button. Come on, it's free. Hit that subscribe button and let's help this community grow and continue to get bigger and better and bring more sports content every single day. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get this party back in action. Back to the hockey.
Free by Barkov, and the Panthers will bust out. Carter Verhaeghe opened the scoring 4 minutes in. Will shoot it in deep. Matthias Ekholm gathering for the Oilers. Bottled up in the corner. Verhaeghe reaching with Reinhart. Centering pass. Quick shot handled by Stuart Skinner against Sam Bennett. From the left circle, he makes the save, and that's his the 10th shot for Florida, the 8th save for Skinner.
Natural stat trick right now through the first 35 minutes of this game has the high danger scoring chances, all situations, 14-3 for Edmonton. Florida won a couple puck battles down low. We were able to transition the puck up the ice there. They did a good job defensively.
Oilers have done a lot of things right in this game, but have not scored on 3 power plays and have not found a way to beat Sergei Bobrovsky cleanly. Off the draw, shot pinballed wide, taken originally by Montour. The rebound sent up to Corey Perry by Leon Draisaitl. Perry and Holloway now with Draisaitl, who began the game with Kane and Holloway. Sam Bennett tried to go up the right-hand side, and he was bottled up by Holloway. And again, Evander Kane, who did not finish Game 6 against Dallas, played just 4.5 minutes. Bob, he may be compromised, so maybe that's another reason for that switch, is to try to spot Kane in when he feels like he can give him a couple of good shifts. Here's Draisaitl off to Holloway. Stripped by Montour. He'll send it up the right-hand side. Luos Torino now gaining the line left to right. Biding his time is Tarasenko. Multiple times a 30-goal scorer, Vladimir Tarasenko. Round the boards and ultimately out. Quickly to Darnell Nurse. He'll shoot it in. 6 times Vladimir Tarasenko. More than 30 goals in the regular season. Stenlund bumps it in from center. I did not think that should have been icing. That was a tough call against Florida. He was straddling the red line. Oilers catch a break there, and they'll look to take advantage with an offensive zone draw.
Stenlund not agreeing with the call. I'm with you. That was pretty tight. Now you got to get a face-off win if you're Edmonton.
Top line is out. McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman. Once again, Ekholm and Bouchard. Stenlund will dig in for the face-off. He'll do so against Nugent Hopkins and win it cleanly. Kulikov, Ekman-Larsson, Luos Torino steers carefully back to the Edmonton blue line. Change coming for Florida as Ekholm looked to find Hyman. Trickled between his legs, and Ekman-Larsson to Sam Reinhart nearly stripped from behind, but he did manage to get it in deep. Taken off the dasher boards by Ekholm. Rifled up the middle. Hyman got a puck touch, so no icing as it's left for Gustav Forsling, the league's plus-minus champion this year at plus 56. Ekholm was third at plus 44. McDavid backs off with a handoff to Evan Bouchard. 3.5 minutes to play. In the second period, Florida leads 2-0. First period goal by Verhaeghe. In the second period, the goal belongs to Evan Rodriguez. Set up by Sam Bennett's determined forecheck. Slapper by Bouchard from distance right point. That deflects high up on the glass, and Forsling is able to wedge it safely back through the middle. Taken on one bounce by Kulak up the left-hand side. Clipped Nugent-Hopkins, so no icing. Forsling back to collect for Florida. Pursued by Ryan McLeod. He'll lob it behind the Oiler defense. Going to be tracked by Kulak. Put it up the left-hand boards, and on the move comes Philip Broberg. He weaves his way through the neutral zone off to McLeod. That's offside. Easy call for Matt McPherson. 2:48 to play in the second period. And Florida still leading 2-0 despite being outshot handily in this game, 25-10.
Edmonton's been a little quiet here in the last 4 minutes of this game, Jack. Got lots of chances. Again, 14-3. The high danger scoring chances to list.
50-50 jackpot, by the way, Bob. Now over $2 million. And again, the early bird prizing. Chance to win 2 tickets for Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final and a signed McDavid and Draisaitl jersey. All in support of the Edmonton Oilers Community Foundation, supporting Albertans battling cancer, kids with critical illness, and a variety of animal shelters. Sent in deep off the draw, and it's fished by Skinner into the corner for Kulak. He bounces it off Mikkola, who turns against Foegele and is able to shovel back to center ice. Backhanded back in by Kulak and offside of Evander Kane, who's now playing on the line with Foegele and McLeod. 2.5 to go in the second period.
Two things happen. Paul Maurice moved Tkachuk and Bennett away from Draisaitl. They ended up going against McDavid's line. So Kane moves down a bit. Fogel's had a good game. He's been moving his feet.
Well, I also think, again, Kane's not at 100%.
Yeah, we know, yeah.
His ice time will be managed as this series moves along, unless he starts feeling better. Henrique able to win the draw cleanly from Lundell. Nurse to Ceci up the right-hand side, guided in by Connor Brown. And again, the fourth line has had its moments tonight. Panthers trapped in their own end. Kulikov was able to muster a clear back to center. Ceci sent it up the boards. Brown bides his time, and he'll chip it over to Janmark. In the corner, Janmark checked hard by Kulikov. Lundell there with support. We go inside, 2 minutes to play in the second period. First on the puck, Kulikov. Poke checked away by Adam Henrique. Dashing through a check is Janmark. He'll turn and then shovel it down low. Ekman Larsson able to break up the cycle, send it over to Kulikov, and carefully sent up the right-hand boards. Puck on edge. Nurse wanted icing, doesn't get the call, and it's a reset for the Oilers with 100 seconds to go in this second period.
Oilers are going to put Nugent-Hopkins here between Foegele and Kane.
And that means the load-up likely Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman for the last shift of the period. Man fell down Forsling against Foegele, who could not take advantage. Foegele will send it around the boards, and now Bouchard will pounce on a loose puck, right circle, slide step to his right around Barkov, a shot off the pads of Bobrovsky. Rebound out to Matthias Ekholm. And now Bouchard, top of the left circle, shot blocked by Barkov. Well, the stage is set now, Bob, for maybe the final 40 seconds. You load up with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman. Now it's Nugent-Hopkins weaving his way across the line of Evander Kane. Down low, Nugent-Hopkins. He'll set up Matthias Ekholm. Bouchard back to Ekholm. Winds it up. Bouchard, high slot, shot, redirected dangerously wide. Hyman had set up camp in front, and a clear for the Panthers. Maybe a 2-on-1. Sam Reinhart shoots and a save made by Skinner. Rebound was sitting there, and Ekholm had absolutely erased Sasha Barkov. Here's McDavid plowing his way into the offensive zone against Montour. Shovels it free for Bouchard. Ekholm did not get a shot off, and Montour, what a brilliant zone keep by McDavid. A turnover by Bobrovsky, sent in front by Draisaitl, no one home, and the Panthers able to slam the puck off the boards. Now Bobrovsky's stick is in the far corner. He can't get there. Bouchard to McDavid. He did get the puck touch. Bobrovsky desperately wanted icing. Final 12 seconds of the period. Bobrovsky does not have his stick. Sam Bennett is trying to freeze the clock here. In the corner, down to 5 seconds. Oilers desperately trying to carve it free. Bobrovsky with no stick, but it won't matter. The Panthers are able to melt the remaining seconds in the corner, and it's a frustrated Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl exchanging barbs with Florida at the end, and Draisaitl just shoved Tkachuk right in the face. That may be a penalty here. I don't know. I didn't see Steve Kazari just yet.
They're not calling a penalty for that, I don't think. Well, some good chances for Edmonton, but right now it's a one-man show, and that's Sergei Bobrovsky in goal for the Florida Panthers.
Shots are 26-12.
He has been stellar. And the Oilers have not been able to capitalize on 3 power play looks, and Bobrovsky was on it early on a turnover. Hyman with a great chance. Hyman's had about 4 chances around the net. The Oilers have had lots of opportunities in this game.
And then the Panthers kind of stabilized over the last 7 or 8 minutes. They only allowed 1 shot on net. And you wonder now it's a reload. I mean, the one thing I'd say, Bob, is, and I know Chris Knobloch obviously has pushed a ton of correct buttons. For me, the line's really not the issue. I mean, a lot of different players have had chances tonight. They've outplayed Florida 5-on-5. Are you sensing that we'll see, those line combinations start to juggle towards the end of the second period? Do you think we'll see that in the third?
Well, my concern for this, Jack, and I know you know the numbers in terms of
Florida's a plus 13 in the third period. Edmonton, coming into this game, and outscored its opposition 49-27 in the first 2 periods. Now, in the third period, the Oilers, and it's interesting, Bob, because as you know, it was their best period all season long, but in the playoffs, that's the one, knock on them, is they've been a -7 in the third period goal differential. They're going to have to summon the requisite energy to push through Bobrovsky tonight.
They've created a lot of looks here, and they're just running into a guy that's put up a wall. There's really no other way to say it. And the only thing I would say for Edmonton is they need to shoot the puck more. I know it sounds silly to shoot a team 26-12 through 2 periods, but I thought there were opportunities. He's got such great lateral movement. I think you got to beat him on a clean shot. He's going to take away the lower half of the net. When you're on those breakaways, he's going to go down. You got to put the puck upstairs on this guy to beat him. And he's had a great performance for Florida. This is probably most nights this is probably a 3-2 Edmonton game after 2 periods, and instead they're
minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, Edmonton has, I think, done a lot of good things in game 1, and that's why I'm a little surprised to see Chris Knobloch tempting, going with some different line combinations. It'll be interesting to see what he elects to do in the third period.
You know what? I just think Edmonton's better when they play McDavid and Draisaitl apart. I get it. Final coming out of
and in the final 40 seconds.
Coming out of penalty kills and in the final 40 seconds, no problem loading those guys up. But the rest of the time, forget it. Let's just, keep them apart and try to attack with 2 different lines. 2 goals basically scored off of rushes in this game. I mean, that's...
Quite frankly, I haven't minded the fourth line tonight. They've been good again, 5-on-5.
Well, and the Oilers...
I know Brown's goal should not have counted, but the fact of the matter is they came very close to breaking through.
You have Darnell Nurse and Evander Kane in low support with Draisaitl, and the Florida Panther beats 3 guys to the empty net and gets the goal. So, hey, they're up 2-0. Oilers are going to use it. They're going to have to summon some requisite energy here in period number 3. Push to see if they can tie the game.
2-0 Florida after 2. Bob and I will be back with the third period in about 15 minutes time, but first things first, on the other side, it's Reed Wilkins, it's Rob Brown. This is the Stanley Cup Final live from Florida. Panthers 2, Edmonton no score after 2. The Oilers Radio Network.
When you play the largest 50-50 in sports.
Insiders, what's up? Thank you so much. Look at that. Wow. We are over 22,800 subscribers tonight. Thank you all for being here. We got, 2,700 plus in the chat right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being here. Big shout out to all the insiders who have been here for however long. And thank you to all of you who have subbed tonight. So, I just wanted to give a big shout out to my amazing wife, Allison, today. Good job, babe. Weathering the storm. You got this. And Bella, way to kick some butt on that serving run there at the Nationals at Navy Pier. Good job, kid. I'm proud of you. You led your team to victory there at that last game. Good job. Anyways, I will get back to letting this game run here because that's what you guys want to hear. Now, you don't want to see me talking. But I do have a quick message and a big shout out. 22-8. Let's get 23 tonight, guys. Let's go for it. I think we might get it. If the Oilers can come back and send this thing into overtime, I think we get it done. But anyways, there you go. Johnny says you're the only thing I could find. Johnny, appreciate you being here and joining in, and appreciate it, man. That's a huge. These memberships we're actually I'm putting together a partnership right now with Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. Have a meeting with their social media team on I think it's next Friday, actually. Can't wait. So Jordan, big shout out to you, brother, if you're seeing this. And anyways, I got a shout out to my friend True. Any EAFC 24 players out there, True has completely turned my team around, and I hope that if you are a EAFC 24 player, that you will DM True as well, and he'll turn your team around. He'll play your champions football games for you. And anyways, I'm going to let that run, and we're going to get back to the hockey here in about 2 seconds.
Hey hockey fans, my name's True, also known as True Killer. Now, as by the accent, you can tell I'm British, and over here, we love football, or I guess you guys would call it soccer, and I love playing FC24. I consider myself a really good player, and if you play FC24 and want to elevate your team to the next level, then shoot me a DM on Twitter, TrueKiller_. I'll respond back, and I can elevate your team to the next level and get you the highest ranks in F24 to make your squad a lot better. Peace out. Hope you guys enjoy the game.
All right, back to it here. Back to the hockey. Thank you all for being here. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and please share it out to your friends. Put it on the Edmonton Oilers board. We need more Edmonton Oilers fans in here. We need Canada representing here on Toronto Sports Insider. Let's go, Insiders. Back to the hockey. We'll see you guys in the chat in the third period.
Go back to the play, or the save that Skinner made on Reinhart to finish that period. It's a 2-on-1. Reinhart had 57 goals, I believe, this season, and Skinner makes a huge save. If it goes to 3-0, the game is over. He keeps it at 2. He keeps his team in the game. So Bobrovsky has been all world, but Skinner made one big save at the end of that period that keeps the Edmonton Oilers' hopes alive.
What happened on the Rodriguez goal, Rob? Again, another kind of open look for Florida to get a shot in the goal.
Well, give credit to Bennett. Bennett is a very aggressive player and reads the play well. That was a set play. He's dumping it in and chasing. So 2 things. Bennett beat Ceci to the puck. Then he outmuscled Ceci, and then Nurse got caught watching the puck. If you watch the overhead, all 4 Oilers that are back are all looking at the puck behind the net. No one looked at Rodriguez in front of the net. If Nurse just turns, don't worry about the puck. That's not your job. Your job is the forward driving the net. If Nurse turns and sees Rodriguez, then all of a sudden the puck coming out, Rodriguez does nothing with it. So Ceci got beat, Nurse got caught watching, and a good hockey player had all the time in the world to put the puck in the net. So it was a nice play by Bennett, but one that the Edmonton Oilers 2 defensemen got caught making mistakes, and when you make mistakes against good teams, they can capitalize, and Florida did.
Were you surprised they put Nurse and Ceci back together for this game?
I was, just because things had gone so well. They just beat the Dallas Stars in the last series. Now, just from reading between the lines, it looked as though Kulak wasn't completely comfortable playing on his offside. And if he's not playing with Nurse on his offside, then it would have to be Broberg. And I don't know if the coaching staffs wanted Nurse and Broberg as a pairing. So they think, okay, let's go back to something that has worked at times, not a lot lately, but at times. And he went with Nurse and Ceci, and it's been a rough night. First goal's it was a 3-on-2, and that was where Connor got caught on the wrong side. But that goal that we just saw, the second goal, that was on Nurse and Ceci. And in a series that we expect every game to be a 1-goal game, mistakes like that. Now, having said that, the Florida Panthers have made a ton of mistakes. You don't give up that many breakaways without making mistakes. But Ceci and Nurse made a mistake. The Panthers capitalized, and right now this is eerily like the Dallas Game 6 game where you get a 2-goal lead and you just sit back and hope that time runs out and the goaltender stands on his head. The Oilers need to somehow find a way to break one and get one past Bobrovsky, just to allow there to be a little bit of doubt on the Florida bench and a little bit more confidence on the Oilers bench.
Oilers 0 for 3 on the power play. Panthers 0 for 1. Rob, I think it's been another good game too for Janmark and Brown.
Yeah. Oh, we talked before the game. To me, that's their third line, playing with Henrique. Janmark plays with snarl. I love every time it looks like he's smiling, but he's got no front teeth. And then you saw the time where there's a kerfuffle and he comes flying in with he had fire in his eyes. Janmark and Brown, they got speed, they got tenacity. Henrique is just smart. I think that line has been very good in this game and has created things. I know that there's been a lot of talk about Florida's depth, and they do have good depth. But so do the Edmonton Oilers. And I think that line, to me, is the third line, and they have created tonight. I mean, Janmark has another breakaway. That was a nice try, too. He had Bobrovsky beat. It just stuck under the pad of Bobrovsky. So the Oilers, I mean, top to bottom, they've had a good game, a very good game. They just need something to get by Bobrovsky, as he has been fantastic in keeping the Florida Panthers in this game.
All right, so Verhaeghe in the first period, Rodriguez in the second period. That's the scoring to this point. Panthers leading the Oilers 2-0 after 2 periods. For Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
Experience the exciting casino action at 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton Airport. Dine at one of their amazing restaurants featuring daily specials. Check out the best in live entertainment at any amazing location. Plus, you can always enjoy a great selection of casino gaming options, or try your luck at off-track betting. And now you can feel the thrill of live horse racing at Century Mile Racetrack. Century Casino has it all. Come for the action, stay for the fun.
Hey parents, do you work in downtown Edmonton? Childcare is hard to find, but at Kepler Academy, inside Sun Life Place, we still have some space for children 12 months to 6 years old. Located at 101 23 Hull Street, Kepler Academy Sun Life Place is an award-winning early learning and childcare provider, voted Edmonton's top choice for 4 years in a row. Visit KeplerAcademy.ca. Mention this ad and your registration fees will be waived.
Blue collar work deserves big dollar perks. Get a heavy wallet with Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals is hiring heavy equipment technicians, maintenance supervisors, PM servicemen, maintenance coordinators, and pretty much every other position that makes Alberta go. We help move the earth that makes Alberta grow. So why not work for a company that makes your bank account grow too? Visit HeavyMetalEquipment.ca to find your new career. Heavy Metal Equipment and Rentals, helping you move the earth.
With Global News, I'm Thomas Dias. The water woes in Calgary are expected to continue for several more days after Wednesday's break in a massive water main. Crews have reached the damaged section of pipe and are ready to cut it out. Water use has gone down another 25% in Calgary after residents were asked to cut back more, with the city saying the supply and demand are now about even. An outdoor water use ban remains in effect in Calgary, with over 60 warnings handed out so far. The massive pipe is nearly 5 decades old and nearing the end of its service life. And in international news, the rescue of 4 more hostages from Hamas captivity in Gaza marks Israel's largest hostage rescue operation since the war with Hamas began. IDF soldiers pulled all 4 to safety out of central Gaza in a heavy air and ground assault. Gaza health officials say at least 210 Palestinians, including children, were killed in the offensive. A senior Hamas official says it proves Netanyahu does not plan to reach an agreement to stop the war and free the captured Israelis peacefully, with Israel saying the same about Hamas. News on demand at 630chat.com.
Look, I know this is radio, so it's hard to show you how much is on sale during the Big One clearance event at End of the Roll Flooring Centers, but it's a lot. Like this flooring, or this one, and all these. Yep, all at clearance pricing for a limited time. Now, you don't need to just imagine what it would look like, though. You can use our visualizer at endoftheroll.com to upload a picture of your room to see the flooring in your actual home. Try it. Find something you love, then get a great deal on it at the Big One clearance event on now at End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Hockey fans, with a spotless reputation, Scandinavian Building Services is responsible for keeping over 70 million square feet of space clean and safe every day. With over 65 years in the industry, no cleaning challenge is too big or too small. From national retailers and commercial spaces to small offices and entertainment centers like Rogers Place, let Scandinavian take the worry off your cleaning program. Visit Scandinavian.ca to learn more. Scandinavian Building Services. Our reputation is spotless.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
At the intermission, brought to you by End of the Row Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
All right, we'll check the scoreboard here for Pizza 73, official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. Earlier today, the Edmonton Elks kicking off their CFL season, and they were outscored 21-3 in the fourth quarter by the Saskatchewan Roughriders as the Roughriders pull off a 29-21 victory. Elks debut for quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson went 33 for 42 for 336 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception, but does not get the win. Here he is after the game.
I put a lot of it on my shoulders. I wasn't in rhythm early. We got to be better. It's a CFL, right? It comes down to 3 or 4 plays, and they made the plays and we didn't. They came out on top. So it's frustrating. You don't win for potential, right? It counts for a full loss. So it's going to be a great challenge. How do we come back on Tuesday, and how do we get back after it next week?
Dylan Mitchell, the Elks' leading receiver, 7 catches for 93 yards. That's for yardage. Curly Giddens Jr. caught 9 passes, wound up with 62 yards, but the Elks are 0-1. Baseball today, Kevin Gausman, complete game shutout. Only allowed 5 hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts. Blue Jays beat Oakland 7-0. Oilers trying to solve goalie Bob. 2-0 Panthers. After 2, Ford Dealers NHL Hockey on the Oilers Radio Network.
At the intermission has been brought to you by End of the Roll Flooring Centers. Let's get flooring.
Discover the epitome of elegance at Alberta Diamond Exchange, dedicated to crafting unforgettable moments with exquisite jewelry collections for over 2 decades. From stunning engagement rings to timeless wedding bands and anniversary treasures, the Alberta Diamond Exchange commitment extends far beyond I do. Your journey with Alberta Diamond Exchange is not just about jewelry, it's about an unparalleled experience. Check out the Aspen Glen Landing Boutique in Southwest Calgary, and for more information, head to avdiamond.ca today.
Get ready to live sky high. Sky Signature Suites offers remarkable units for rent, featuring sophisticated floor plans, designer finishes, resort-like amenities, and breathtaking views. Situated in the heart of Ice District, Sky is the address for socializing, dining, entertainment, and fun. A building like no other in a location like no other. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
From your home to the ice rink, ATCO Energy is there. As the official energy provider of Rogers Place, we're also proud partners of the Edmonton Oilers. ATCO Energy, powering your place. Customers are free to purchase natural gas services or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For a list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822. You're listening to Oilers Hockey on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
We welcome you back live inside our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth atop Emirates Bank Arena. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. Florida, a 2-0 lead after 40 minutes of play. Verhaeghe in the first, Rodriguez in the second. Oilers have piled up the shots on Sergei Bobrovsky, but have been unable to beat him. Bobrovsky's only previous shutout in this postseason, and again, was just the second of his career, and that was 3-0 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final against the Rangers. Off the draw, the Oilers go to work. Puck has been dropped. They start with Janmark, Brown, and Adam Henrique. Chris Knobloch giving the fourth line, which we talked about at the end of period 2, the nod to start period 3. Panthers hemmed in. They send it up the left-hand side, out of the reach of Lou Osterine, and eventually reeled in by Philip Broberg. Robert through the middle to Connor Brown, swatted away from him. Anton Lundell with Edmonton making a line change. He'll punch it ahead, driving toward the net. Sam Reinhart unable to get a shot away. McDavid reverses for Kulak. Up the right-hand side, Janmark swarmed under. A centering pass knocked down by Janmark. Advanced through to Connor Brown. He'll look for McDavid, but that was broken up. And the puck hurtles out of play, courtesy of the captain, Alexander Barkov. Florida 2, Edmonton no score. Opening minute gone by here in the third.
Well, roughly about 15-7 or so are the scoring chances between the two teams, depending upon which statistical model you have. And that's with Edmonton having the advantage. And look who's starting the period here together, Jack.
Well, we anticipated that there might be combos that Chris Knobloch elected to move forward with, that he started switching up late in the second. So indeed, it's McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman. Sam Reinhart from center ice as the Panthers don't look too flummoxed, at least to start. Barkov, after Reinhart dumped it in deep, tried to get it to Verhaeghe. That was broken up. Draisaitl checked hard by Aaron Ekblad, who keeps it down low for Barkov, and Florida will try to set up the cycle. Forsling coming in hard on Hyman, taken away by Ekholm. The Oilers look to move it up the center of the ice. McDavid looking for Draisaitl, and he tried to plow his way through a couple of defenders, but Ekblad able to shield him off and force the puck back inside the Edmonton blue line, so the Oilers will make a change. Bouchard to Matthias Ekholm, drives it up the middle, spilled in by Warren Foegele. Racing over to make a play on it is Montour. Up the left-hand side, Sam Bennett. Rink wide, and that scooted through Matthew Tkachuk. No icing as Tkachuk barrels into Darnell Nurse, and he's hurt. Nurse caught him cleanly with a check along the end boards. Tkachuk bounces back up, and then Foegele will take an icing call as Montour will create the whistle at 17:55 left in regulation with a score 2-0 Florida. Are you surprised?
Yes. Yes, I am. I would have waited until the final 10 minutes to put Connor and Leon together. I think you're trading just as much with Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, and McDavid, and then that leaves Leon to get after it, give you a different matchup, maybe get to a second pairing.
Sergei Bobrovsky finished tied for the league lead this season with 6 shutouts during the regular campaign. Mikkola will shoot it in. Kevin Stenlund freed up for Lawrence. He'll wire one off the side of the net. That glance to Montour. He'll just wind it around the boards. Foegele on it. Checked by Mikkola. CC twists it back through the middle. And Montour dashing after it with Evander Kane, having him in his sights. But Kane unable to get there, and Montour just laid it off to Stenlund. Carefully, Mikkola will shoot it down low into the Oilers zone. Skinner. Along the end boards, Kulak. A little bit of a lull in the proceedings here. The energy a little dead in the building. Edmonton not doing much, though. The Oilers down the stretch in that period, Bob, only 1 shot in the last 8 minutes. In the second, Tarasenko behind the net. Centering pass one-timer, and that clipped the right shoulder of Stuart Skinner. An excellent chance for Luo Sturinen. And the way Bobrovsky's playing, Bob, if Florida gets the next goal, it might be lights over. Yeah. Lights out, rather. Sent around the boards by Ryan McLeod, deep into the Florida zone. Ekman Larson against Holloway. Couldn't free it up, but eventually carved out of there by Lundell. He'll take a skate. Both teams make wholesale changes in personnel. 16.5 minutes left in the hockey game. Forsling. Right side for Ekblad, and it's snapped in deep. But Florida's successfully quieted this game down a little bit in terms of the high danger chances, high event type of scenario where Edmonton was really putting the pressure on Bobrovsky. Sam Reinhart up top, down low for Sasha Barkov, inside to Reinhart, and he missed short side. Florida's missed out on a couple of chances to potentially extend the lead. Aaron Ekblad down low for Barkov. He burrows inside on Bouchard, chiseled free. Ekblad steps up for Sam Reinhart behind the net. Fished out by Ekholm, not out of the zone. Forsling shot off the glove of Bouchard, who's able to collect the puck and with ease will skate it up the middle. But when he tried to find Draisaitl, he sent it too far. McDavid is able to catch up to it. Florida relaxed and likely would have had an icing call, but Ekblad did not get back in time. So the Oilers trying to capitalize on that, but Hyman unable to get it to a man. Draisaitl in front. Quick one-timer to save Bobrovsky on McDavid. What a setup Barkov had the puck on his stick, failed to get it out. Hyman then set up Draisaitl for a tic-tac-toe to McDavid. And Bobrovsky, as he's done all night, is able to cover up for Florida's miscues. And Bob Aaron Ekblad is having a tough night. Yet another mistake where he lets up and allows McDavid to negate icing.
Yeah, no question about it. And, you know, he had a pretty significant injury to start the season, but he has not been at the level that you're used to seeing him play at. If you're the Oilers, you got to find a way to capitalize against that.
Only played 51 games during the regular season. Launched up the left-hand side, tipped in by Steven Lawrence. He'll try to get around Cody Ceci. Lawrence protecting the puck, and Ceci does a nice job of just walloping him into the corner. Matthias Janmark staggers his way in. Took a big pop from Brandon Montour. Now Nurse steps into a shot that's deflected wide of Bobrovsky. Rebound, the Panthers. Able to kick it up the left-hand side. Kyle Opozo fending off Adam Henrique and getting it in deep. Skinner will leave it for Darnell Nurse, left to right. Oilers in the white, Panthers in the red. Florida up 2-0. First period goal by Verhaeghe off the rush, and then a chip and charge. Sam Bennett won a battle with Ceci and set up a wide open Evan Rodriguez for the game's second goal early in the second period. Both goals coming 3 minutes and change into their respective periods. Bennett got steamrolled by Evander Kane, shoveled in by Broberg, who got blistered by Ekman Larson. Panthers able to toss it back through center, looking for that puck. Lundell unable to control it. Broberg off to Warren Fogle. He got popped by Kulikov and sent the other way by Matthew Tkachuk. Lead pass Kulak to Evander Kane. Now Broberg rushes the puck in from the right-hand side. 14 minutes to play in the hockey game. Third period, Florida 2, Edmonton no score. Launched back the other way by the Panthers, retrieved by Kulak.
Just one shot in the first 6 minutes for Edmonton, Jack.
And you combine that with one shot in the last 8 of the second period, Bob, you're talking 2 shots in 14 minutes of game action for the Oilers. Steal by Forsling. Play is onside. Drop for Tarasenko. Wrist shot, glove save. Stuart Skinner with 13:42 to play in the hockey game. For the Panthers, that's only their first shot of the third period. A low event, 6 minutes and change thus far in the third period. And that, of course, favors the team with the lead. And in the Stanley Cup Final, the opener, right now, that team with the lead is the Florida Panthers. They lead game 1, 2-0. We're back with more live third period play-by-play in just a moment. It's Ford Dealers NHL Hockey, the Oilers Radio Network.
There's only one line of trucks that's outsold all others for 58 years. Only one with the available Power Boost hybrid engine on select models that delivers performance and efficiency. It's the truck that all others are measured by. You know the one. Tough this smart can only be called F-150. Right now, lease the 2024 F-150 STX with Black Appearance Package at 2.49% APR for up to 24 months with $4,800 down. That's just $228 bi-weekly. Visit your Alberta Ford store or Ford.ca for details.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers.
Live sky high with remarkable units for rent and for sale at Sky Signature Suites. Currently offering amazing incentives on 1- and 2-bedroom rentals featuring designer finishes, resort-like amenities, and breathtaking views. All of this and more within the heart of Ice District, Edmonton's best address for shopping, dining, entertainment, and fun. Visit SkySignatureSuites.com and make your home high above the ordinary.
Listen on air, online, and on the Radio Player Canada app.
This is the Oilers Radio Network.
Offensive zone face-off for the Florida Panthers, who lead game 1 of this best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final despite being outshot 27-13. It's 2-0 Panthers early in the third. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you from our Legacy Heating and Cooling broadcast booth. Face-off win, but a blocked shot. Montour could not get through after Lundell had won the draw. Oilers able to clear, and now Corey Perry, right wing slap shot to save made Bobrovsky. Rebound. Holloway shielded from the puck by Mikkola, and a clear to Luo Skarinen. Carefully guiding down low, left corner for Vladimir Tarasenko, finishing his check. 4-player scrum, and out of the pile comes Adam Henrique with a puck, and now we've got a whistle for an interference call. And this one appears to be against Edmonton. Panthers have had only one power play tonight. And now we've got an interference call, and the Florida Panthers look to gain a stranglehold on this hockey game with a third period power play as Corey Perry nailed for interference.
Came from behind on Anton Lundell, pushed him down the ice. That's a pretty tight call in this situation. Big kill here for Edmonton.
13-13 to go in the third period. Now you'll have McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman coming on if the Oilers are able to make it 30 in a row after a successful kill. But, Bob, your point is, I also think that, you shrink the time down from 13 minutes to 11 minutes. When you're trailing by 2, those 2 minutes are precious.
100%.
Off the face-off, a clear by the Oilers through the neutral zone. Sasha Barkov looking to wind it up for Florida. Gathering steam. Of course, the big man on the power play all year was Sam Reinhart at 27 power play goals during the regular season. Not as many as Draisaitl's 32 last year, but enough to lead the league this season. And now a cross-seamer deflected out of play into about the 6th row here in Amerant Bank Arena. Florida during the postseason on home ice. Well, during the regular season, they were 26-13-2. In the postseason, like Edmonton, they've been consistent. 6-3 at home, 6-2 on the road. The Oilers are 6-3 on both home and road. Face-off, won by Edmonton, left of Skinner, and shoveled up ice by Matthias Ekholm. Immediately getting a change is Adam Henrique. Nugent Hopkins will step off as well. Now you've got McLeod and Fogle out there with Ekholm and Ceci. Panthers gather, collect themselves, and move through the neutral zone right to left. Barkov to Verhaeghe. That was the combo that scored the first goal 5-on-5. Now here on the power play, it's Verhaeghe high up on the plexi. Tkachuk racing over. Fogle swinging a miss, but McLeod is there with secondary support to get it through Brandon Montour. And the Panthers have done nothing thus far on the power play. Verhaeghe steps in from the left-hand side. Tkachuk gave it away to Connor Brown. It's a reload for the Panthers once more. Montour turned it over. Connor Brown shorthanded. His shot deflected out of play. A jittery-looking power play for Florida thus far through the first minute 15. Once again, the Napa Auto Parts penalty kill shutting the door on the opposition. 2-0 Florida, 11:58 to go. Nugent Hopkins and Henrique return along with Nurse and Kulak.
Brown made the right decision to shoot the puck. Unfortunately, it ricocheted off the skate up and over the glass.
So Henrique the draw against Anton Lundell. Face-off curled back to Ekman Larsson, who used to be a power play stalwart in this league. Twice a 20-goal score, 7 times double digits. Now he's kind of settled in as kind of a two-way guy, third pairing. Sam Bennett wandered his way in, but had it stripped by Nugent Hopkins. And this Florida power play, I mean, again, you're up 2-0, but still you don't want to lose entirety of momentum, and the Panthers have just done nothing here. Tarasenko shoots it in. Skinner leaves it. Bennett steals it. Circles from behind the net. Perched top of the right circle. Tarasenko rifles one. That was blocked by Darnell Nurse. Tarasenko unable to thread it through, and a hard clear by Janmark, who continues to deliver stellar minutes both 5-on-5 and on this penalty kill, which has now just made it 30 in a row. So you've got McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman coming on. Back to 5-on-5 with Perry out of the box. Alexander Barkov streaks in left-hand side. 11 minutes to play. Panthers lead it 2-0. Here's Evan Bouchard. Does not get it out. Sent down deep by Sam Reinhart. Verhaeghe in the right corner. Battling for puck possession with Broberg. McDavid wanted to start up ice, but was immediately canceled out by Ekblad. Trying again, right-hand side, Zach Hyman. Pressure from Forsling. Good gap right there, and that freed up Verhaeghe to dump it right back into the Edmonton zone.
You said it. They've dramatically improved in that aspect of this game here.
Here's Evan Bouchard weaving his way up ice. Left side for McDavid. Spun off his stick, racing over Forsling to crowd him. Ekblad can't get it clear. Draisaitl to Bouchard, Broberg, and then Bouchard shot tipped on net. Save Bobrovsky, and he's able to stretch out and pull it from underneath McDavid's left skate into his chest. Sergei Bobrovsky at the top of his game with 29 saves tonight, and it's 2-0 Florida with 10:13 to go. Tough redirect by Hyman, and then McDavid did his best to keep it alive, Bob, and Bobrovsky was able to reach out and basically wrench it right off his skate.
Yeah, he's just you see his head placement and his tracking. He's just on it. He's just locked in this game tonight. He's the only reason why the Oilers are not at least even. It's a 2-0 Florida lead, and Bobrovsky's been stellar.
Keeping Broberg with Bouchard here.
Ekholm had penalty kill himself.
Yeah, he had the penalty kill, but Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman also stay on the ice. A turnover by Tkachuk off the draw, and that was rifled high and wide by Broberg. McDavid tried to keep the puck in deep. Big hit by Draisaitl on Tkachuk, but he was able to power it back to center. Bouchard hitting Hyman. Onside left wing. Shadowed tightly by Sam Bennett, taken against the boards. Forsling could not pry the puck loose, and McDavid was there to wind it around to Bouchard. Edmonton has Florida hemmed in, but Draisaitl mishandled. Ekblad was able to muscle it back through center. Bouchard up the right-hand side. I'm not sure McDavid got a piece of that puck. Evidently he did, as Bobrovsky elects to play it. Laid ahead for Lundell, and he'll scoop one out to center ice. And Edmonton forced to change. McLeod to Cody Ceci, right-hand side, and shadowed tightly that time was Fogels. Mikkola raced over. Lundell to the right-hand side. Skating with alacrity to center and shoveling it down deep, Brandon Montour. Back to collect is Darnell Nurse with 9 minutes to play in regulation. The Oilers, thus far in this period, just 3 shots on net. Now, Florida has only 1, but it's the Panthers with a 2-goal lead. Luostarinen keeps it beneath the goal line. Tarasenko, Luostarinen, wraparound through the crease and untouched. Fogel is able to reel it in and send it across to Darnell Nurse. Oilers left to right. They'll come out of their zone, trailing by 2 goals with 8:45 to play. It's Nurse in across the Florida line. Change of pace on Mikkola, centering pass. Kane was there and popped it just wide. Bobrovsky hugging that far post and watching as Sam Reinhart with a clear for Florida. Verhaeghe, pressure up ice on Connor Brown. Darnell Nurse able to reverse back down low for Broberg. Up to Brown. He'll fire it rink wide. That's going to be taken off the boards by Kulikov, and Florida melts some clock. Ekman Larsson has it tipped up on the short glass. Skinner comes over, guides it right side. Brown, a nice play off the half wall. Henrique checked to the ice surface, and Sam Bennett able to come up with a puck and wrist it down deep. A low event period, exactly what Florida wants here, Bob.
They've done a much better job checking Edmonton.
Broberg, left to right. Finds a man, it's Brett Kulak. Oilers just looking for the 1 goal that potentially could break the proverbial dam, but another clear delivered by Rodriguez, who scored the game's 2nd goal. Bouchard up to McDavid, over the line with speed, hands off, shot at Coleman, and that was blocked. The rebound comes free. Panthers had 1 chance to clear it, a 2nd chance, then don't get it done. But Ekblad, given a 3rd opportunity, will lift it safely back to center. Panthers wanted a change. Oilers catch him. Here's McDavid to Draisaitl, back to Bouchard. His one-timer was blocked. Bouchard right back on the puck. He'll take it hard behind the net. Sets up a man. Wrist shot Hyman. And that was deflected up on the glass. Draisaitl tried to shovel it toward the middle. Given down low to Draisaitl. One more time. McDavid rolls up top. Out wide. Left circle. Tried to reverse off a skate. Back to McDavid behind the net. Florida pursuing. McDavid to Bouchard. Slide step to his right. Now it's Draisaitl. In tight to Ekholm. Bouchard loading up. Doesn't shoot. And it's poked out of the zone by Verhaeghe. Panthers desperately want to change. Edmonton will keep the same 5 out. Ekholm did not get it in deep. The steal by Luostarinen, centering pass, wrist shot off the rush, and a glove save made on Reinhart by Stuart Skinner. An extra shot given to Reinhart by Leon Draisaitl, but Edmonton down to 6:45 remaining in the 3rd period. 31 shots against Bobrovsky. None have gone in. Florida 2, Edmonton nothing. This is Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Live from Sunrise, Florida. The Oilers Radio Network.
I'm Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
And I'm Zach Hyman.
And when we're not making juicy, sweet passes,
or having my goals disallowed,
we're working for Legacy Heating and Cooling.
You know, guys used to call me a plumber.
And now they call you an AC repairman.
Nice.
Hey, guys, you're not here to fix air conditioners. You're here to sing the jingle.
Oh.
Well?
Okay.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
No payments and no interest for 1 year from qualified installers. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
MIC is a leader in medical imaging and the official medical imaging provider to the Edmonton Oilers. Make MIC your choice. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, the game doesn't stop for injury. MIC's sports medicine imaging specialists can help you get back in the game with a timely and expert diagnosis. Go where the pros go. For a location near you, visit mic.ca.
Proudly headquartered in Edmonton, Capital Power is powering change by changing power. Be part of the energy and join Capital Power in cheering on our Edmonton Oilers. From Ice District and across oil country as they chase another championship banner. Visit capitalpower.com to learn about how they're delivering reliable and affordable power for communities today and creating innovative solutions for a clean electricity future.
All games, all season.
You're listening to the Oilers Radio Network.
2-0 Florida. The Panthers looking to become only the second team since the 1984 Edmonton Oilers to lose the final 1 year, go back the next year and win it. They're up 2-0 in the third. Edmonton, of course, lost in 83, won in 84. Penguins lost in 08, won in 09. That's the only team since the 84 Oilers to lose 1 year and win it the next. Sam Bennett logging up the neutral zone off the face-off. Nugent-Hopkins out there with Holloway and Evander Kane. Panthers are able to wrist it down deep. Verhaeghe, 4 minutes into the first period. Rodriguez, 3 minutes into the second period. That's been the only goal scoring tonight, clubbed in by Ceci, but the puck had played with a high stick, 6:17 to go in the third period. And as a result, on a night where Edmonton has outshot Florida 31-14, the Oilers find themselves trailing by 2 goals and going to the whip with the final shift of the second period and now into the third period with Draisaitl, McDavid, and Hyman on the ice together. Once again, Bouchard and Ekholm will join them after that puck was played with a high stick. Center ice faceoff. Draisaitl won it for Barkov. Tipped over to Bouchard by Ekholm. Bouchard has it punched forward by Hyman. Ekblad races back, wedges it safely back to center. Batted down. Oilers knew they couldn't touch that puck because it would have been a hand pass against Ekholm. Barkov did not get it in deep, and now Ekholm finds a seam down the middle. Gives it up for McDavid. Challenging Ekblad. McDavid gives it back. Ekholm looking for a lane. Fires wide. Rebound. Flattered off the boards. Chance for a clear. Bouchard able to settle it down. A little pick on Barkov. The Oilers got away with it. Blast Ekholm, and that's saved out. And careened off the glass and all the way back to center.
He scored a bunch of times where he shot it low and they've got a deflection in front. Problem is he didn't have Adam Henrique there because he's set him up about 3 times that way. What a chance for Edmonton, Jack.
Bouchard fires down the middle. That's offside. Perry in prematurely with Draisaitl busting down the seam. 5:24 to go in the third period. And the Florida Panthers with a 2-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers. Game 2, once again, will be here at Emirates Bank Arena. We'll have it for you on Monday night. A 6:20 puck drop live from Sunrise. We'll take time out, be back with the final 5:24. Oilers need 2, down 2 in Florida with Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. The Oilers Radio Network.
McDavid trying to come in with speed. Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores!
Hey, Rogers customers and hockey fans. Rogers wants you to win big this Stanley Cup playoffs.
Connor McDavid! Fantastic!
You could win a VIP trip to the Stanley Cup Final, plus hundreds of prizes, courtesy of Rogers Beyond the Sea. For your chance to win, visit rogers.com/Stanley Cup. That's rogers.com/Stanley Cup.
Did you know that there are 9 Napa Auto Parts stores serving the greater Edmonton area and have been doing so for more than 50 years? Since Napa first opened in Edmonton, the community has grown and vehicles have changed, but you can always trust Napa Auto Parts to provide you with the expert know-how and the best vehicle parts. And if that isn't enough, every time you visit a Napa Auto Parts store when you present your AMA card, you receive an additional 10% discount on all retail parts and accessories. Visit your local Napa Auto Parts store for more offers and expert know-how. Napa Auto Parts is a proud fan of the Edmonton Oilers.
Chemco is building industry across Canada, and now they're on the lookout for civil and electrical project managers, estimators, and superintendents to join their dedicated team. Why Chemco? Because Chemco cares. They put people first, offering top-tier compensation packages and an unwavering commitment to safety. At Chemco, safety isn't just a priority, it's everybody's business. Ready to be part of a team that truly values you? Visit chemco.com/careers today.
You're listening to Oilers Hockey
on 630 CHED and on the Radio Player Canada app.
Sergei Bobrovsky shut out the New York Rangers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final, and he did so by a score of 3-0. But, Bob, in that particular game, the Rangers did not muster much. The Oilers, in the first 2 periods, just pelting Bobrovsky, unable to break through, and now here in the third period, limited to 6 shots. As we're down to 5 and change remaining. Warren Foegele up the right-hand side, off the neutral zone draw, fed along by Kulikov, back into the Edmonton zone. Once again, the Panthers doing an effective job of making the Oilers go the full 200 most of the last period. If you include the final 7 or 8 minutes of the second period, they've settled down. Shoveled in by Henrique. Early on, Edmonton had Florida overmatched. Bobrovsky bailed the Panthers out. Here's Foegele centering, and that went through heavy traffic in the vicinity. Kulak and Kane, neither could get his puck on the stick, and the Panthers were able to launch back inside the Edmonton line.
Some nights, puck just doesn't bounce your way, and around the net, that has happened tonight for Edmonton. They can't buy one.
Top players back on the ice. Draisaitl with a giveaway in his own zone. Carter Verhaeghe, snapshot and a save made by Stuart Skinner. 4:20 to play in the third period, and obviously when you're down 2, you've got to make some electric plays, and Draisaitl going backhand cross ice, trying to set up McDavid with speed. Good read by Verhaeghe, and a good save by Skinner.
They're a well-coached, smart team. We knew that about them, and tonight they've got a brilliant goaltending performance. The Oilers have played well.
I did like Paul Maurice's line, though, yesterday.
122.
I took a 122-point team down to 92 in 1 year. Talking about last year,
they don't make the playoffs.
Into the playoffs. They don't make it out west.
They do not make the playoffs, so they were ready to move hard-known defenseman Radko Gudas at the end of the year, and they ended up keeping him. They go all the way to the Stanley Cup Final. Crazy.
Ekholm off the draw, unable to clear. Reinhart deep in the zone for Barkov, stuffed it short side, a save made by Stuart Skinner, and he's able to freeze it with 4:10 to go. But the Panthers were able to keep the Oilers' top line hemmed in here. And obviously that's what Florida would dearly love to do much of the series, is make Edmonton, so much was, well, can Barkov defend McDavid? Florida's trying, from Florida's perspective, they want McDavid and Draisaitl, guys like them, defending their top guys.
And that's what's happening right now, last shift and a half here.
Reinhart wins a face-off. Ekblad feathers it down low in the corner for Forsling. A collision with Zach Hyman. Requisite support from Sam Reinhart. The Panthers are making the Oilers play on their own end here. A drive by Forsling, tipped dangerously wide by Barkov. Ekblad steps back up, puts it right beneath the goal line. Down to 3:45 to go in regulation. Hyman's able to clear, but that's nowhere near Connor McDavid. He and Draisaitl hovering, but sent across to Forsling, and the Panthers break out easily. Lundell watches as Tkachuk chips and charges, falling down on his own accord was Ekholm. Lead pass for Draisaitl, punched right back into the offensive zone by Rodriguez. Sent out to center, snapped back in by Mikkola, and once again, the top unit forced to reload in their own zone. 3:20. Bob, they've been out there for 50 seconds, and they've done a lot of defending. Kane interfered with. Edmonton finally changes. You've got Kane out there with Holloway and McLeod. Cody Ceci tied up in his own zone. Ekholm desperately needs a change. Ceci will skate it up. Ekholm up the left-hand side. Tipped away from Holloway. McLeod a burst of speed, creating in the high slot. Spinning his Holloway. Shot toward the net. And that was blocked and carefully cleared to Tarasenko, who dumps it back inside the Edmonton line. 2:45 to go. We'll keep an eye on Stuart Skinner. 2-0 Florida in game one. McLeod sends it in, then tries a shot that's blocked before it reaches Bobrovsky. Right now, Skinner still on the pipes. An attempted clear by Reinhart. Couldn't get it through Cody Ceci. Second effort, he does. And now Carter Verhaeghe starts up ice. In over the line, and a late offside call. A mistake there by Florida. Offside whistled against Sam Reinhart, and Johnny Murray had the call with 2:29 to play in the third period. 2-0 Florida.
Dylan Holloway got away with a reach infraction. That in a 0-0 game in the first period, that might have been a holding penalty. He reached inside and knocked the Florida Panther off of balance there, creating the offside. He's very lucky that wasn't a penalty.
So a neutral zone faceoff. McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman return with Ekholm and Bouchard. Skinner still on the pipes. Obviously, if Edmonton's able to gain possession off the draw and get it in deep, you'll see the goaltender pulled off the draw. Barkov had it, lost it to Draisaitl. Carefully backhands it over to Bouchard. With 2:20 to play, Skinner heads for the bench. Sent in by McDavid. On net, Bobrovsky flipped it over to Ekblad. Again, turned it over. Aaron Ekblad has had a tough night, but he's bailed out by Luos Torino. Nugent Hopkins, the sixth skater, out for Edmonton. Shot in by Draisaitl. Ekblad this time got a piece of the puck and then again failed to get it out of the zone. But Reinhart from Forsling is able to toss it back to the Edmonton line. Ekholm has it batted down at center. McDavid will take it in. Try to bust through heavy traffic. Chopped down. One-timed in front and redirected. Ekholm had that pass deflected. Bouchard gets it back from Ekholm. Gives it to him again. High slot. Minute 40 to go. Draisaitl with his team down 2. A blast by Bouchard is wide. Rodriguez with the net empty will toss it back to center. Bouchard able to bat it down. From center ice, he'll carry it back into the offensive zone. Draisaitl to Bouchard. Nugent Hopkins down low to Connor McDavid. The captain spins in front. Bobrovsky's on it! And he freezes the puck with a minute 21 to go. And now Edmonton has to think about a timeout to keep its top 6 players fresh, rested, and ready.
Well, the core strength of Bobrovsky's so great down low. He takes away the bottom half of the net, and then he's got a good poker with that stick as well, Jack.
He's been active. Now the Oilers will line up, but Glenn Gulletson has the erase board out, and they'll take a timeout here with a minute 21 to play in the third period. Shots tonight 34-17 in favor of Edmonton. Sergei Bobrovsky at the top of his game, and I mean, quite frankly, Bob, even though the Oilers again have outshot the Panthers handily in the third period, we've seen a change over the last 26, 27 minutes of regulation.
Florida's done a much better job defending here as this game has gone on. They've sort of pushed Edmonton outside. The Oilers have had nowhere near the same caliber of A-grade scoring opportunities.
Now,
face-offs.
Edmonton, if you can get a face-off win, a shot on net, outnumbered down low, maybe you get one on the board with still a minute to play. There's a lot of time left, a minute 21 remaining. It'll be Draisaitl, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Bouchard, and Ekholm.
The other thing is, with a 2-goal lead for Florida, they are airmailing that puck out of the zone.
Absolutely. They won't worry about icing. They'll melt off as much time as they can, knowing the Oilers are getting increasingly tired and will take longer to get back to draw the whistle. Barkov against Draisaitl. Barkov awfully strong in the circle. Tie up, and Draisaitl pulled it back to Bouchard, and they're going to do it again. And Draisaitl's disgusted with it.
Yeah, we had something similar happen here a couple of years ago, where Draisaitl thought he won a clean face-off win with Edmonton chasing.
Here's Connor McDavid lining up for the draw. Hyman and Nugent Hopkins stacked in the paint. Draisaitl to McDavid's right, and now a face-off controlled by Florida, but Reinhart got tied up in the corner. Barkov came over, lost his stick against McDavid. Bouchard from Ekholm will serve it up to Draisaitl, then get it back right point. Draisaitl, right circle, looking at the net. Shot was blocked. Florida has the puck. Luos Torino makes a move to his left, shoots toward the empty net. A second time, deflected away by Ekholm, and now we've got a minute to play in the opener of the Stanley Cup Final. Florida leads Edmonton 2-0. Here come the Oilers up ice. ice, left to right. Bouchard to Ekholm, slammed in deep. Panthers will try to melt some time in the corner. Lundell does. 40 seconds to go. Comes out to Bouchard, right point. Looks for a lane, it's not there. Tip pass, an attempted clear by Lundell is successful. It bounces inside the Edmonton blue line. 30 seconds to play. The Oilers down 2. Out of the reach of Draisaitl. Forsling ambles after the puck. Centered off the glass. And did that go out of play? Is it delay of game against Florida? No, they're signaling Plexi and then out with 24 seconds to go in the third period. And the Oiler chances are minuscule because even if they got one, you're probably down to 12 or 15 seconds. Odds exceptionally long. They'll keep the same 6 out regardless.
Well, these guys can defend, but who do you need to have as your best defender?
Sergei Bobrovsky's been perfect on 34 shots, 24 seconds to go. Face-off to his right. Florida probably needs one more face-off win to clinch this game. Sam Reinhart will try to do it against Leon Draisaitl with McDavid and Hyman stacked in the paint. Ekholm high slot. Face-off win for Florida. Mikula will try to pin the puck along the far corner boards. He does. Panthers stay with it. Lodge it against the kick plate. Centering pass comes through everyone. Reaching for it, sending it off the glass. Forsling not out. Bouchard with 10 seconds. Has his shot blocked. The Panthers will get a clear. Luostarinen fires and scores. 4.4 seconds to go. Empty netter puts it away. Panthers will win game 1. Time of the empty netter, 19:55 for Luostarinen. It's his second goal of this postseason. Quality third-line player, 12 goals during the regular season, 17 a year ago, just a solid guy. Like so many of those Florida Panthers we've talked about, pretty balanced lineup. Luostarinen with a block shot.
Yeah,
Markov set him up.
Bit of a clinic for Florida here in the third period in terms of how to defend a 2-0 lead. I mean,
really the last 27 or 28 minutes, I thought they did a credible job.
They got to their game, and the Oilers missed their chances. The Oilers had their shots, and they couldn't land a bomb on Bobrovsky.
Well, and they had, I mean, all their top guys. You know, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman actually deked Bobrovsky out of his shoes and flipped it over an empty net. Just one of those nights, as you talked about, and you'll have those. And Sergei Bobrovsky, for the second consecutive playoff round, is going to begin the series with a 3-0 shutout. Florida one last face-off win in Game 1 to the Panthers. Game 2, Monday night, 6:20 puck drop. Right here at Emirates Bank Arena, and the Rats come tumbling onto the ice. Of course, that's a nod to the 1996 team that upset Pittsburgh in the Eastern Conference Final before being swept by the Colorado Avalanche. That team was in its third season. This is a more veteran, polished bunch. Went to the Stanley Cup Final a year ago, won the President's Trophy the year prior, and they've started the Stanley Cup Final with a 3-0 victory, only the second one in a final that the Panthers have managed in 10 Stanley Cup Final games, and the Oilers lose Game 1 for the second time in this postseason. Of course, having blown a lead in the opener against Vancouver, the Oilers never led in that series until Game 7, when they were able to close out the Canucks by a score of 3-2. Bob, not much to say that we haven't already said during the course of regulation.
I mean, the Oilers outshoot Florida 33-18 in this game. High danger chances, significantly in favor of Edmonton, and they ran into a wall named Sergei. I don't think we'll see any adjustments until the Oilers lineup.
You do not?
No, I wouldn't make any. I mean,
but you saw Chris Knobloch adjust the line combinations, so doesn't it stand to reason that he will ponder a change or two?
I think he's got to go back to playing. I think he's got to go back to playing. The only potential different look that he might consider is having how about McLeod and Fogle with Draisaitl, and then putting Kane with Henrique and maybe Connor Brown, and then Janmark. Now I'm trying to run.
Well, McLeod with Fogle and Draisaitl was a combo that served Edmonton well during the course of that 16-game winning streak.
Yes, it did. And it got Fogle going, and I didn't mind Fogle's game 5-on-5 in this game. I mean,
no, I thought he was going tonight. I thought he was in on the forecheck. He looked like a guy who was very eager not only to return to the lineup but stay in the lineup.
Yeah, the Oilers, Jack. I mean, at the end of the day, Florida was the better team in the third period. I thought they did a real good job in terms of limiting Edmonton and what they could do. And but you get a situation in a Stanley Cup final where the A grade, the high danger scoring chances are 18-6, all situations.
Well, in short, in summation, what you're saying is if the Oilers play 6 more games like this one, you'll take that all day.
But they got to get to this guy. They got to get to him. They got to create more traffic. And they got to put pucks up high in him. He takes away the lower half of the net. He's got unbelievable lateral movement, great feet. He tracks the puck well. You got to roof it on him.
Well, you pointed out that when they did attempt to go high tonight, they often missed the net. Hyman point blank, Ekholm late in the game, and you wonder whether, and again, Florida had the same situation to deal with, so we're not taking Edmonton off the hook, but that finite polish around the net sometimes can be unvarnished after 6 days.
The problem is, I think Edmonton gave up a free goal on that 3-on-2 to give them the lead. The first chance at Skinner, and it create, there's the trend with Skinner. Those first goals against at times have got him, and tonight they were playing a goaltender that just simply wasn't given anything.
I thought the second one was the one they gave him. I didn't like how they assumed Ceci had it wrapped up and didn't cover Rodriguez barreling down the slot.
3 guys standing right in front of the net. Zone D, you got to make that play. They made a couple mistakes. They ended up in their net, and the other guy played fantastic. Really, I mean, the Oilers played well. Sergei Bobrovsky just played better, and the Oilers are going to have to play better in the next game to get to them. They're going to have to be sharper. The power play goes 0 for 3. 2 of the 3 power plays were pretty good. Sometimes you got to tip your hat to the opposition guardian, and that's what happened tonight.
We'll see you Monday night. Florida, quality team. We told you. I mean, this was a club that finished tied for 4th overall during the regular season. Won 50 games, 52 to be exact. Dispatched Tampa in 5. Didn't need to go 7 in any of the first 3 rounds. And again, they have a little extra Stanley Cup final experience. I know Janmark's been there, Enrique's been there, Kulak's been there, Corey Perry has been there 5 different times with 5 different teams, including 4 of the last 5 years. But ultimately, Florida was able to negotiate its way through a tough opening 30 minutes and somehow emerge with a 2-0 lead and then kind of locked it down. Edmonton dominated the first 30 minutes of this game, and then the Panthers were able to kind of saw it off over the next 30. The Oilers certainly weren't outplayed, but all of a sudden the playing field started to even up a little bit, and as Bob mentioned, the defending became much more effective from the Florida Panthers. Sometimes you need your goaltender to steal one. Edmonton certainly got that in Game 6 of the West Final against Dallas when Stuart Skinner closed out the Stars with 33 saves. Well, tonight it was Sergei Bobrovsky with a second shutout of this postseason, second straight time in a playoff series. He's begun the opener with a shutout, his 3rd career playoff shutout. He's now 13-5 in this postseason, 42-40 for his career, a 32 save whitewash officially. Edmonton and Florida credited with 6 shots apiece in the 3rd period, 32-18 for the game for the Oilers. Stuart Skinner saddled with the loss. He's now 11-6 in this postseason. He stopped 15 of the 17 shots that came his way. Verhaeghe in the first, his 10th at 3:59. Rodriguez in the second, his 4th at 2:16. And then after the Panthers had kind of locked it down, having killed Edmonton's 3 power plays in the process, it was an empty netter set up by Sasha Barkov. His second assist is the dagger to Luostarinen with 4.4 on the clock, accounting for the final margin of 3-0 Florida in Game 1 of this best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final. Again, we'll have Game 2 for you Monday night, and that'll be at 6:20 Mountain Time. Until then, for Bob Stauffer, Reed Wilkins, and Rob Brown, this is Jack Michaels signing off from Sunrise. Once again, the final score in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, Florida 3, Edmonton 0. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure was all ours. The Rogers postgame show starts right now.
Exclusive live interviews, expert analysis, and game highlights. This is the Rogers Postgame Show. Once again, here's Bob Stauffer on the Oilers Radio Network.
For Evan Bouchard as we come up on 4 minutes to play in this first period. Jack Michaels, Bob Stauffer with you. Oh, beautiful look. Nugent Hopkins breakaway. Backhander. Denied. Sergei Bobrovsky. That is 4 point-blank looks that Edmonton has been stopped on in this first period.
That's the Century Casino Highlight Zone, all in, all games, all season. Century Casino's 3 great locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton International Airport at Century Mile. Welcome to the winner zone. Bobrovsky. The orders were Bob tonight. He made 32 stops. Edmonton 18-6 advantage in high danger scoring chances according to Natural Stat Trick in all situations. But Bob was on it, and the Oilers couldn't break through. They lose Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Best of 7 final, 3-0. This is the Rogers Postgame Show on the Oilers Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Experience the exciting casino action at 3 Century Casino locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and next to the Edmonton Airport. Dine at one of their amazing restaurants featuring daily specials. Check out the best in live entertainment at any amazing location. Plus, you can always enjoy a great selection of casino gaming options or try your luck at off-track betting. And now you can feel the thrill of live horse racing at Century Mile Racetrack. Century Casino has it all. Come for the action, stay for the fun.
You're tuned in to the Rogers Postgame Show on the official voice of the Edmonton Oilers, 630 CHED, and on the Oilers Radio Network.
By Aaron Ekblad, carried back the other way by Lundell. He'll drop it off. The trailer is Ekblad. One-timer Tarasenko blocked. A backhander, a save Skinner, and a second stop. Stuart Skinner with his best save of the night on Tarasenko. All right, that's the save of the game brought to you by Access Insurance. Alberta oil field and construction contractors can count on huge saves when they need it the most. Visit accessinsurancegroup.com. At the end of the day, the Oilers got bobbed early. They didn't have much going in the third, and I thought Florida kind of, as Jack mentioned, tilted the ice with about the final 6 minutes of the second period on. At least negated some of the chances Edmonton was getting. Let's bring aboard our Inside the Game analyst, Rob Brown, on the Rogers postgame show. Rob, certainly through the first 35 minutes of this game, the story was Sergei Bobrovsky.
It was. He was excellent in this hockey game. I know that you're still up in the booth there, but we've been watching all the highlights that he had in the game. Grade A scoring chances, uncontested grade A scoring chances by all the Oilers' best players. I mean, Hyman twice by himself, Leon by himself, McDavid twice, Bouchard walked into an Ekholm, Nugent Hopkins. There's 3-4 breakaways. Bobrovsky was excellent in this hockey game. And we talked between periods. Skinner was excellent in Game 6. He stole the game for the Edmonton Oilers. But every Dallas chance was contested. Every Dallas opportunity was a one and done. Tonight, the shots that Bobrovsky was turning aside, they were grade A's. They were uncontested. They were all wide open shots. So as good as Skinner was last game, that's how much better Bobrovsky was tonight. This was a game that not always the team that plays better wins, but the team usually with the better goaltender. Nothing against Skinner, but the team with the better goalie wins, and Bobrovsky was excellent.
Do you make any changes if you're Edmonton?
I know that the second goal, it was not a good one for Nurse and Ceci. I don't know if that is enough to bring Desharnais into the lineup. I don't think I make any changes to the forward group. I thought the forward group created a whole lot. I did like the game of Foegele. I know you guys talked about it.
Yeah, I liked him too tonight.
On the back, I really liked is Broberg. Wow, does he look confident out there, making plays,
to me,
jumping
you can't
up,
pull him
skating.
out. He's over on the right side, Rob. He's not even playing the left side.
Yeah, and looks seasoned back there. I mean, him going back down to the minors and playing a ton, it has worked out well for the Oilers because he's a guy, like, he's higher up on the depth chart of the players that are playing. That's how well he played tonight. So I guess you have to decide, is Desharnais a better option than Cody Ceci? I don't know if that is the case or not, but that would be the only thought. As far as Ryan and Carrick, I don't know if they move in ahead of anyone that played ahead of them, especially since the penalty killing was perfect tonight. So the Oilers tonight, pardon?
Speed. Oilers had speed on all four lines.
Yeah.
Moving they played
well. Go on.
I was going to say, it's this simple. They carried the balance of the play for the first 35 minutes of this hockey game. Outchanced them off the rush. 18-6 were the final totals, all situation and high danger chances for it. You win that game 4 times out of 5 in the National Hockey League if you do that.
I agree, and I watched a lot of the Florida Panthers earlier series. They do give up chances. They give up breakaways. They give up odd man brooks. When you're in a very aggressive forechecking team and you pinch, there's going to be chances against. And I think Ekblad is a fantastic player, and Forsling is as well, and I like Montour. I don't know if this top 4 is as strong as the Dallas Stars top 4. And the Oilers, were able to find ways to beat the Stars top 4 for goals. I think the Oilers will get looks. It's a matter of beating Bobrovsky, and I know that you and Jack talked about it. Bobrovsky's fantastic with pucks down low. You have to beat him up high. You have to force him to make a save that way, because from side to side, he is good. So good. So,
and Rob, you're on slow ice. What are you trying to do?
Yeah, the ice look bad.
What are you trying to do making a move to your backhand on the goaltender that's got the best lateral movement in the NHL? You shoot. You're Nugent Hopkins. You've got a killer shot. And, how many times has he scored filtering through that snapper or that high wrist shot? I don't know, man. I got to give. But saying that, you just got to. It's game 1. It is a best of 7. However, we know the stats when teams win game 1 in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but stats don't matter. I mean, because there's teams that go against the grain. I think there's things that you're going to take out of this game if you're an Oiler and you like. The Oilers were the better team for the majority part of this hockey game.
Yep.
Guys like Broberg played well. You created on your power play, you didn't score. Your penalty killing was excellent again. And on the other side of it, Bennett was fantastic. He was the best player in the game tonight, and Barkov was just sensational. Didn't notice Tkachuk. And I think that's another thing that you neutralized one of their biggest emotional leaders. Is Matthew Tkachuk. I did not notice him in this hockey game tonight. So the Oilers lost the game, but I do believe that they played well and should be confident going into game 2, which becomes much bigger now that you've lost the first one.
Good stuff, Rob.
Sounds good, Bob.
The smart play of the night is brought to you by Catelli Smart Pasta with all natural ingredients. It's a smart move. For your next meal, look for the box the next time you shop. And tonight we are going to give that to Dylan Holloway, who kept his feet moving all game long. Late in the game, when they had a chance to break out in a 2-on-1, pushed the player offside, and probably got away with it a little bit one, but you ain't cheating if you ain't trying. The problem for Edmonton is they couldn't get anything past Sergei Bobrovsky. This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
International Union of Operating Engineers, Local 955, is one of Alberta's largest and most diverse union locals in the province. Members work in everything from construction and maintenance to pipelines, renewables, healthcare, education, municipalities, and more. They are a big part of Alberta's past and will be a big part of Alberta's future. Apprenticeship, jobs, pension. That's IUOE Local 955. Visit joinustoday.ca to learn more, and let's go Oilers.
When you play the largest 50-50 in sports, everybody wins. Your support makes all of oil country a better place. A place of kindness, caring, and compassion. Uplifting those in need, changing lives forever. The largest 50-50 pot in professional sports is currently growing by the second. Get your tickets now at EdmontonOilers.com and help change lives today. Maybe even your own.
AGLC license number 645766.
Hey parents, do you work in downtown Edmonton? Childcare is hard to find, but at Kepler Academy, inside Sun Life Place, we still have some space for children 12 months to 6 years old. Located at 101 23 Hull Street, Kepler Academy Sun Life Place is an award-winning early learning and childcare provider, voted Edmonton's top choice for 4 years in a row. Visit KeplerAcademy.ca. Mention this ad and your registration fees will be waived.
This is the Rogers postgame show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Out-of-town scoreboards brought to you by Pizza 73, the official pizza of the Edmonton Oilers. 6:30 CHED also is the broadcast rights holder of the Edmonton Elks. They open up their CFL season at home today. Move the game because of the Oilers game tonight, and the Edmonton Elks lose at home 29-21 to Saskatchewan. American Hockey League, they're down on the two conference finals. Cleveland beating Hershey 5-1, and Coachella Valley, that's Seattle's farm team, all over Milwaukee, Nashville's team, by a score of 5-1. Here at Amarant Bank Arena, the Florida Panthers get a 32-save performance from Sergei Bobrovsky. They beat the Edmonton Oilers 3-0. They take a 1-0 lead in the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final. This is the Rogers Post-Game Show on the Oilers Radio Network.
Hey, Paul Brandt here. You know what I'm a fan of? Alberta. The wide open spaces, the highways and byways, and a rugged, beautiful terrain that I'm proud to call home. Maybe that's why I'm also a fan of my Ford F-150. It's tough, capable, and smart, which makes it a natural fit for roads like these. So if it's a new truck you're looking for, look no further than the truck Albertans love to drive, F-150. Head into your Alberta Ford dealer and tell them PB sent you.
Pizza 73, the official pizza of your Edmonton Oilers.
Loyal to the oil, in Edmonton we trust. Rising to the top like a pizza crust. Down to the crunch, got the flavors to play. The city of champs going all the way. Let's go Oilers, E-Town unite. Ice District to Jasper, downtown to White. Wearing orange and blue, game on the screen. Make the right call, Pizza 73. Let's go Oilers. 737373, Pizza 73.
Let's go to the Molson Cup 3 Stars, presented by Molson Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel. There's a Molson with your name on it. Third star tonight. Florida shuts out Edmonton 3-0. Evan Rodriguez scored the second goal of the game. East Knight's second star, Carter Verhaeghe, had the goal game winner 4.5 minutes into the game. East Knight's first star. But the story tonight was Sergei Bobrovsky. 32-save performance for the victory. That's the Molson Cup 3 Stars for the Florida Panthers. The Rogers postgame shows heard following each of our NHL broadcasts. Oilers return to action 6 o'clock on Monday night, Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final on the Oilers Radio Network. For my play-by-play partners this season, Jack Michaels, who calls all of the play-by-play action. Cam Moon, that's in the playoffs. Cam Moon did 67 of the 82 regular season games. Rob Brown, Reed Wilkins, Brendan Escott, studio producers Kellen Kennedy at the helm tonight, and Angie Quinnell, and our engineer Oscar Gonzalez here in Sunrise, Florida. Bob Stauffer saying so long. In FLA, the Panthers got a brilliant performance from Bob. They beat the Oilers 3-0. They lead the best-of-7 Stanley Cup Final 1-0.
Rogers Post-Game Show is heard following each of our NHL broadcasts. Portions of this exclusive broadcast are brought to you by Ford, official partner of the Edmonton Oilers. Built Ford proud. Molson, whether it's Canadian, Ultra, Export, or Excel, there's a Molson with your name on it. And Rogers, Canada's largest and most reliable 5G network.
To the net, backhander score!
This live play-by-play broadcast is intended for the private entertainment of our audience. Any rebroadcast without the expressed written consent of the Oilers Entertainment Group is strictly prohibited. All games, all season. Exclusively on the Oilers Radio Network. The game is over when the horn sounds. The analysis ends when you say it does. This is Overtime Open Line. Oilers hockey is brought to you by the Butcher Shop at Friesen Brothers. And now, the Heartland Ford Overtime Open Line. Here's Reed Wilkins on the official voice of your Edmonton Oilers. 6:30 CHED.
Well, goalie Bob gives the Panthers the nod in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. Sergei Bobrovsky, brilliant tonight, stoning the Edmonton Oilers time after time. He makes 32 saves for the shutout. The Panthers win it 3-0. Verhaeghe in the first period, Rodriguez in the second period, Luosterainen into an empty net in the last 5 seconds of the third for the final damage this evening. The Oilers 0 for 3 on the power play. They were 2 for 2 on the penalty kill to run their streak there to 30 kills in a row, but they could not score. Bobrovsky just excellent as the Oilers with tons of good chances, tons of grade A chances. They had 3 breakaways in this game. Henrique and Nugent-Hopkins about 97 seconds apart in the first period. Janmark had a breakaway halfway through the second period. Just whatever they did, they could not get anything by Bobrovsky. So the Panthers up 1-0 in the best of 7. They'll host Game 2 on Monday night. Thanks a lot for joining us tonight. It's 18 minutes after 9. I'm in Rogers Place, level 8, and it is now emptied out after the watch party. Rob Brown checking in remotely. Well, Rob, we'll dive into some of the details, but this is an easy headline to write for this game. Goaltending performance by Bobrovsky.
It is, and there was a lot of talk before the series about Bobrovsky. People said the Florida Panthers had an advantage because they got Bobrovsky, who's had a fantastic year and an even better playoff. And tonight he was all world. He made huge save after huge save, breakaways, 2-on-1s on the power play, wide open looks, and it was all the Oilers' best players that were getting these chances. And he just continued to stand tall. And at no point did you really think, oh, he got lucky on that one. He seemed confident on every shot. It got to the point where you're like, I don't know if they're going to get one by him tonight. So the Oilers, I thought, played very well. Unfortunately, tonight, they got beat by a goaltender who was on his game and was nothing short of sensational. So this was one where the Florida Panthers goaltender stole them a hockey game.
Yeah, excellent stuff for him. Skinner stopped 16 out of 18. Rob, okay, so the Oilers get 32 shots. Pretty good total. They had a lot of shot attempts because they had 21 others blocked, and they missed the net on 17 of them. So, 60 shot attempts. Just to contrast that, Florida finished with 37. Not as wide a margin as that Dallas game that was 74-24 for the shot attempts in favor of the Oilers, but a similar sort of flow to this game. When you look at the Oilers' attack, and I'm probably nitpicking a little bit here, but when you get shut out in a Cup final game, I think you got to discuss it. Was there anything the Oilers, could they shoot even more often? Do they need to shoot quicker, shoot differently? What do you think?
I don't think so. I think this is one where the Oilers' grade A chances didn't go in. There were some backdoor ones. Hyman had the open net where he put the backhand up and over Bobrovsky, but over the net as well. McDavid one-timed it from his offside, and Bobrovsky got across. Now, they showed the one stat where Bobrovsky is very good down low, and most of the goals that have been scored on him in the postseason have been up high. So there's something that you will look at. Do I shoot high? But as a goal scorer, an offensive player, you usually go to your own bread and butter. Whatever you are best at, that's what you go with. Don't change because, this goalie's good at it. Goal scorers are confident that their best shot will beat the goalie's best save. Having said that, Nugent-Hopkins tried going backhand. His best shot is a shot short, his low blocker. To me, the Oilers played well. They had great chances, but sometimes you tip your hat. The goaltender was excellent in this hockey game, and the reason that the Florida Panthers won the game. Going into Game 2, if this game played the exact same way, the Oilers win Game 2, because you can't expect Bobrovsky's going to stand on his head like he did tonight over and over again in a 7-game series. So, I don't think there's a whole lot offensively the Oilers need to do better, other than find a way to get it past a very good goalie.
3-0, the Panthers win it tonight. In terms of the goal, the Panthers scored, a 3-on-2, first of all, early in the game. So, first of all, 15 seconds into the game, Bobrovsky plays the puck. McDavid knocks it down. Hyman has a point-blank chance. So Bobrovsky almost made sure he was ready himself. And the Oilers had a couple other chances early, not as good as that one. And then the Panthers' first shot goes in on a 3-on-2, 3:59 into the game.
Yeah, the Oilers got caught offensive end. Connor McDavid got caught below Barkov, hoping that the puck would come out. It got past him, and then it's a 3-on-2. And the Oilers' two back checkers didn't get back. They both slowed down as they crossed the blue line. You can see them; their feet weren't moving as fast. And the Florida Panthers' best players had a 3-on-2 with some time, and Barkov made a wonderful pass to Verhaeghe. And Verhaeghe scored. To me, that's not on Skinner. That was a grade A scoring chance created by a forecheck that was probably a little too aggressive, and you gave up a chance. Now, it was a mistake. A lot of mistakes were made in this game. The Florida Panthers capitalized on a couple.
The second period goal, Rodriguez taps in the pass from Bennett, who got to the puck down low and put it in front.
I mean, great play by Bennett. Fantastic play, who I thought he and Barkov were the two best players in this game. I thought both Barkov and Bennett were sensational in this hockey game. And on that one by Bennett, he threw the puck into an area, and then he turned it into a race and a battle. He won the race, and then he won the battle. Ceci got beat both by speed and the physicality of Bennett, so that one's on Ceci. And then Nurse was looking the wrong way. He was watching the puck. Rodriguez was behind him. And if Nurse just turns and finds his man, Bennett's not going to score from behind the net. If he finds his man, all of a sudden he takes his man away, nothing happens. And the Oilers actually had numbers. They had two forwards that were coming back as well. So Ceci and Nurse made a mistake. And again, the Florida Panthers made way more mistakes in this hockey game than the Oilers. But the Florida Panthers capitalized on two mistakes. And those two mistakes were the reason that the Florida Panthers got a victory tonight. So, yeah, the second goal was on Nurse and Ceci.
Yeah, who were put back together today, which I didn't really expect going into this game, Rob.
I didn't
or at least
either.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that I read, and it's just reading between the lines, is there was talk that Kulak wasn't completely comfortable playing on his offside. So if he doesn't play on his offside, well, then your other option, you got two other options. You got Ceci going back with Nurse, and they played together a ton. Or you go with the young kid Broberg playing on his offside with Nurse. And I guess your decision right there, do we want Ceci or do we want this young kid playing with Nurse? And I know that a lot of fans out there are saying that Nurse has struggled, and rightfully so at times in these playoffs. Now do you want more pressure on Broberg, having to clean up some mistakes? So I think the coaching staff decided that Ceci was the better of the options. And it's funny, going back on that, Broberg I thought was excellent in this hockey game. I thought he looked so confident out there. Good on him. But it'll be interesting going into Monday's game if they keep the same lineup or if Vinny Desharnais finds his way back into the lineup. That'll be the one interesting thing we'll see over the next 48 hours.
Yeah, we'll make Philip Broberg tonight's fourth star for Jandel Homes, Alberta's premier modular home retailer, as the Panthers win it 3-0. Panthers players, all three stars in this game. Rodriguez, the third star, Verhaeghe, the second star, and pretty easy to pick Sergei Bobrovsky as your first star. He has a 32-save shutout this evening. The Oilers, McDavid, 6 shots on goal. Rob Draisaitl with 4. Bouchard with 4. Evan Bouchard had 16 shot attempts. 9 were blocked. 3 went wide, 4 were on net.
Give credit to the Florida Panthers forwards who are blocking Bouchard's shots, because there's no secret how heavy his shot is. And they know that when he's winding up, this is going to hurt if it hits me. Yet they get in the way. This is the Stanley Cup Finals. You do not bail on a shot from the point. I thought Bouchard actually created a lot from the back end. The Florida Panthers did a very nice job getting in the way, getting in the shooting lanes, and the shots that missed the net from Bouchard were just because the Florida Panthers had lined themselves up perfectly, and Bouchard, trying to miss shin pads, missed the net as well. It was as the game went further on, Reed, I thought the Florida Panthers got better, and they started limiting the chances. And then the other thing, too, you got to wonder, the ice did not look great. There was a lot of bobbles out there, a lot of pucks bouncing. So if that's the case, too, you start not looking for plays, not looking for dekes. You start looking at putting pucks on net, making easier plays that way. That's something to watch going forward in the games here in Florida. Yeah,
and I would agree about the third period, Rob. A lot quieter period. I mean, the Oilers didn't really have a great chance. Let's hear from Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch.
Well, I think we got carried away if we say dominated, but I thought overall we played a pretty good game. We had some chances to score goals, and they didn't go in. We know that Florida that wasn't their best game. Anticipate them to be much better the next one. I think they probably caught it off guard. Just you guys talking about how good they were, and we didn't have a chance in this series. But yeah, there's a lot of things I liked about our game, but we know that we're going to have to get even better.
Front row left, Mark.
Because when you have a team that has that volume of chances and can't convert, can you somehow coach them or video them over the top, or is it just up to the high-end scorers you have to figure it out themselves and make a play?
There's definitely things that we can target. Every goalie has strengths and weaknesses. Every system that you play has strengths and weaknesses. So there are things that, as a coach, we can address. And there's also just the element of luck, that goes through the regular season playoffs. Sometimes pucks go in. Like we had Game 6, we had 2 goals on 10 shots. It was a good night for us. And it doesn't always work out that, you're going to score on 8% of your chances because that's what they say it should go in or whatever it is. But, I think there was a good share of opportunities for us to score. But there are things that we're going to have to look at and try and increase those chances.
Left side, Pierre.
Over here, Chris, in the door frame here. You talked this morning about hoping that the standard will be maintained and that the penalties that should be called, and certainly getting 3 power play chances is a different game for you guys than 1, as we've seen in these playoffs. You got your 3 and obviously didn't score, but a lot of looks. So what do you take from what Florida did on their PK and the amount of grade A looks you still got, just didn't finish?
I think, as I said earlier, every system has pros and cons. And whether it's 5-on-5, penalty kill, whatever it is, you have a system. And there's obviously strengths to it and weaknesses. Otherwise, everyone would be doing something. And, I think their pressure is good. And, as long as we're ready for it and can anticipate it, we can get some really good scoring chances. And I think a couple times we were able to do that. But I think it's just the execution about power play is just, finishing your play and making a pass. And, we did have some good chances. And, we saw it in the Dallas series where we didn't score early. And then we went, I believe, 4 for 5. And, there's always law of averages. I think we started 0-6. Do I think we were 0-6? Were we that bad? No. And do I think that we're that good to be 4-5? No. But it's just things over a long course of time, they'll work out. And, this is why we're playing a 7-game series and not a 1-game elimination.
Right side along the wall, Daniel.
Chris, do you think tonight's performance can be the blueprint to win this series?
I think it can start, but, there's things that we have to get better at. We can't just play this game and expect to win it because we know Florida's going to be better. And, there's some things I liked about it. There's things that we need to get a little bit better at.
Stay on the right side, Jim.
Chris, halfway through the game, Ekholm had only played 7 minutes and 40 seconds. Part of that, I guess, was Bouchard was on the power play a lot, but was he limited at all in terms of being perhaps hurt or something like that? Because that's very few minutes for him.
We like to keep the 2 pairs together, and with Bouch having the power plays, we want to get those 2 together, and Bouch has to take a little breather to get back, and because those power plays were getting up to close to 2 minutes, he's not going to come right back on the ice, so he just had to wait his turn.
Anything else for Chris? Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks, Chris.
Okay, that is Oilers head coach Chris Knobloch at the mic for Avalon Foundation Repairs, Western Canada's leading foundation repair company for over 50 years, home of the lifetime warranty. 3-0, the Panthers take Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. You're going to hear from Hyman, Skinner, and Nurse, and you can check in as well, 780-496-0063. This is Heartland Ford Overtime Open Line. Hey, everyone.
Play-by-play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.